Billy, look at
and
Sir,
working
wait,
with
wait,
these
wait,
guys,
Billy,
working with these guys, and they were working so hard, and they learned their playbooks every day, and they came to every practice, and we did tests. We did fucking tests on the playbook, and we were talking about everybody was doing it T by T, and we were running the team, and for them to get robbed like that is fucked.
Welcome back to Macrodosing. We are in the new studio. It kicks ass. It's November 16th. I'm feeling frisky, feeling happy, feeling pumped. We got Big T Donnie in studio with us. Mad Dog McKenzie behind the glass in a real production. Yeah, watch on the YouTube right now. Check them out. We got Arian Houston, Billy back from Uganda, Donnie also back from Uganda. But more importantly, we're in the new studio right now. And things got off to a rocky start. From the second we walked in the studio, me and Big T had words about who gets to sit where, because I thought that I had claimed this spot. Big T thought he had claimed it. So we got to figure out who gets the seat.
I mean,
so you big boyed him. I see.
It looks like it's been. I don't even want it anymore. I unstaked my claim.
Why is that?
Because if he wants it, it's not even. I don't even. Then it's not cool. So I don't even want it anymore.
Wow. If he wants it, it's not cool.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Right. So there are witnesses to me claiming the spot. PFT claims he claimed it earlier, and there are allegedly witnesses.
I claimed it when we were drilling holes to put the mic stands into the desk, which, by the way, the desk is the best part of the studio. We can all agree, right?
It's like a question mark.
It is, yeah. It's a lot like a question mark.
It is a question mark.
It's almost identical. It's almost identical to a question mark.
What are the other parts of the studio? It's really the only part of the studio.
The lights?
The lights,
Yeah, I'm going with the color lights.
I do like
Ain't
the
nothing
lights.
said, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to change my colors because, I got a little thing over here. I'm going to change it to green to match up.
All right,
Hold
Billy,
on.
you change your lights.
Okay,
too.
I'll change my color.
The yellow chair over there is. I haven't tried sitting on it yet. I've never seen a chair like that.
It's really comfortable. We've tried it.
It's yeah, it doesn't look very comfortable, and it has mixed reviews on how comfortable it truly is.
Okay. Is it supposed to be like an M for macrodosing?
Yeah, was that bought like specifically for us, or was that just in the office and they stuck it in?
No,
here?
it was bought for us. It was on renderings.
Yeah,
I think it was like because it's cool and funky, and like we're cool and funky.
we are cultured. Yeah,
Yeah, we are cultured.
So is that where the guest will have to sit if he comes into the studio?
to keep them uncomfortable, to keep them like
Yeah, be like, oh, here's where all of our guests stay in this weird looking yellow contraption.
knock them off balance. That's the dog chair. Dogs will be sitting there.
Okay.
I'm speaking of dogs. I'm wearing an Arian Foster jersey right now, the one that McKenzie found down in Texas. It's a little snug. It's a little itchy. I think it's from China. It might be authentic. Arian might have worn this in the game because the patches are sewn on. It's good. It's almost like you're here with us, Arian.
I appreciate you representing me, man. You know what I'm saying? That's going up on our wall of fame in the macro stew.
Yeah, I think so. So we're gonna have to fill this place out with some decorations, but overall, I'm very, very excited about the new studio here. I also want to do a preview because we booked a huge guest on Macrodosing, a massive guest. So this is going to be coming in the next couple weeks. All right. There's an employee here at Barstool Sports who approached me and gave a recommendation for an episode to do, and the person's name is Ben Mintz. And Mincy came up to me the other day and he was like, I got a great idea. Should I do my Mincy impression?
You have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Big T does such a better Mincy impression than I do.
But he said it to you. I wasn't there, so I
Yeah.
can't.
Hey, PFT, I got a crazy idea for Macrodose. I feel like this would be a good episode y'all could get into a Macrodose. Okay, Mincy, what are you thinking? What if we did an episode on me and the second act stuff in my life where, like it's wild the way that you just manifest stuff and it happens. Like, I feel like that'd be a good episode for people, for us to discuss here at Macrodose. And I thought about it and I was like, you know what, Ben? You're right. Ben's right. So we're going to have Ben on to talk about the second act of his life and also the first act to his life, because I feel like the first act, there's a lot of fun stuff that we want to dig into there. But most importantly, the second act of Ben's
You just
life.
brought me back to Hoboken the apartment I shared with Ben Mintz.
Yeah.
I think
That
that
was
has
amazing.
to be Thanksgiving week because he's so thankful for everything that, has happened.
And we're thankful for Mincy.
Right.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mincy.
You could make the topic overall just manifestation or something like that.
Manifestation. That's the secret, right? The
Yeah.
dude wrote that book, and the secret was just say things out into the world, and it'll eventually happen for you.
Visualize success.
Yeah, just
And-
say nigga. It'll happen.
I will not.
No, too soon.
That's a classic.
So yeah, no one's a bigger poster child for the secret of
Well, if we have
manifestation than Mitz.
Mincy on, then we can have two people on the show who can say it.
That is not true.
Manifestation. Yeah, let's listen. Mintz has overcome a lot of adversity, much like Michigan football.
Yeah.
Ben Mintz has overcome a lot of adversity recently in his life to bounce back. But I am actually kind of fascinated with talking to Ben. The more I thought about it, I want to hear more about his life and more about how he got here, the backstory. I want to hear like child Mincy stories. I want to know who he was like in high school, everything about him. So yeah, that'll be a good episode. I think do a deep dive into Ben. I'm sure he's working on a bunch of new projects right now, new content coming out, so we can get into that as well. But most importantly, I think today we are joined by Billy and Donnie, fresh back from Uganda. Thank you guys for joining the show today. It's good that you guys made it back safe and sound. Billy, you look like you have not been really respecting the sun that much.
He refused. I put sunblock in his hand at one practice, and I said, "Please put it on, because we're not going to beat Kenya if you're in the local burn unit." And he refused.
Why?
be honest,
Billy, why you just lie to me, bro? We talked about this off air. My man I said, bro, why didn't you put something on? He's like, they didn't have any. I was like, bro, they don't need any. That's where they from. And then Donnie come and say, bro, I had sunblock, and you said no. I need to hear why you just lied to me.
No, I didn't lie. He had it back in the apartment. And
but I brought it to practice one day.
But remember, I asked for it, and you were like, we didn't bring it. And I was like, shit.
But like the last day.
The one
after
day
you was
I
already
wanted
peeling.
it.
Because
After you was
after I
already peeling.
literally brought it and handed it to you and you said no, I was like, okay, I'm done. I've tried. And then, I stopped just like bringing it in case you randomly wanted it.
Yeah.
You remind me of myself when I was a child. And my dad was like, hey, bring a coat. It's cold outside. I was like, nah, dog, I can't. The honey's is out. I got to look sweet. And he's like, all right, do your thing.
I had people hit me.
Went to the game, was shivering. And he was like, you wanted to look cute though, huh? Never forgot a coat again.
Exactly the same thing. The African sun is undefeated. I went out there and literally I thought I didn't want to like show weakness in front of the players, and it came back to bite me.
Billy just told me he hates playing football with sunscreen on because his hands get slippery, and I don't know. I guess this has been a thing in his life for a while. Whenever he plays football, he can't be near sunscreen.
I hate it because you have to rub it on yourself and it gets on your hands.
Use gloves,
Then
my
you
G.
can't but then you can't grip the football. No, because I was playing
gloves.
quarterback.
Use gloves to put the sunscreen on. I've seen that before. Those little rubber gloves to put that sunscreen on with that. Your palms are straight.
That sounds insane.
That's high level thinking right there.
That's high level thinking. But imagine like showing up to the beach with gloves. People are thinking you're gonna like.
We're not at the beach. We're not at the beach. We're in Uganda playing football.
Yeah, but that's insane.
Billy touched on something I wanted to talk about as well. I don't know if we want to get into the game now or what.
We can.
How did you show up to a team that had presumably been practicing for quite some time and just immediately be the starting quarterback?
The streets
I
want to know.
I can talk about this a little
Donnie,
bit.
please.
I know he's been getting a lot of shit for playing QB, but I can say the president of American football in Uganda, all the Ugandan coaches and players on the team wanted him to at least start as the QB. And their thought was, we'll get a lot of touchdowns in like the first 2 quarters, and then we'll put in our local Ugandan QB.
Mm-hmm. Marv Twist.
Marv Twist was actually QB 2.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
So he was not. It was a guy named George. Great guy. And so it was not like Billy didn't just show up and be like, by the way, I'm starting in this game. Like all the Ugandans kind of wanted him to start.
Okay.
And obviously the game was a disaster, but I can say the days leading up to the game, Billy was extremely dedicated to the team. We were only supposed to coach like one practice. Billy paid out of his own pocket to reserve the field so we could have a couple more days of practice. After practice was over, he was staying hours later, talking to all the players, answering questions. So there are things about this trip which you can give Billy shit for. Number one, he almost wasn't allowed on the flight back to the U.S. because he had too many beers that day.
I did think
to bring that up.
I did think there was a high likelihood of an international incident developing out of Billy somehow.
Yeah, we showed up to fly home, and the lady was like, "Has your friend been drinking?" And I was like, "Yeah, but he's fine." And she was like, "He can barely stand, and like he's not going to be able to board the flight." And I was like, "No, like he'll be fine. I'll make sure he has 0 more beers. We're gonna get through and drink waters." And then she talked to him and she was like, "You better not drink 1 more beer or you won't be getting on this flight." And Billy's like, "Yes, ma'am. Yes." And then we get through, Billy drinks 2 large waters. We're hanging out. And after like an hour and a half, he's like, "Hey guys, can I just have like 1 more beer?" And I was like, "Dude, I am not your mom. Like, if you want to have a beer, have a beer. But if you get left back
in trouble if you did not pay the bartender."
No, so I was like, I'm not your mom. You can have another beer. If you're not allowed on the flight, that's not my problem. I am getting on the flight. And then like a half hour before we board, I was charging my phone somewhere else in the airport, and the same lady who was at check-in walks over and sees Billy sitting next to me drinking a beer. And she was like, "I thought you said he wasn't." And she's like yelling at me like I'm his guardian.
Yeah.
Like, "I thought you said you weren't going to let him have any more beers." He's not boarding the flight. Like, he's not going to be allowed on the flight. And I was like, "Oh, Billy is fucked." So I took the beer from him. And then I'm talking to him like, "I don't know. I saw him drink 2 waters. I thought he was okay." And while I'm talking to him, Billy kind of just runs over to the plane and boards.
Oh, so you snuck onto the plane?
No, but look, there's a lot of caveats to this story.
I can't wait to hear all the caveats.
Well, there was one.
Billy learned
caveat.
Billy learned a Latin word for lies.
So
now it sounds smarter.
Another caveat is that apparently people were searching for me at the airport too, because I had just ordered a gin and tonic, and it looked like a small pour. So I go, "Could you just put a little more gin in that?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure." So they pour like another shot or 2 of gin in it, and then hand it to me, and I go, "Okay, thanks," and I walk away. And then they realized, they were like, "Wait, he had to pay for those extra shots." So they had a guy going around the airport trying to find me so I could pay for the extra shots.
You just asked for a regular pour because you thought the initial pour was light. And then when they added, they thought that they just gave you like a double or a triple.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so like people were like, there was like a manhunt for me in the airport trying to get me to pay for the extra shots of G&T. And I think that's when the lady at check-in got involved and started walking around too. And then she found Billy drinking a beer.
She was like, "This guy's involved."
So yeah, I did pay for
when you get back.
We might be going back. I have to say, it was honestly, the way that the Ugandan players played in the game, like they just played with their heart, dude. When you're playing for your country, it's just different. Like I've never seen guys so motivated, taking on blocks, literally doing everything effort wise to win the game. Mm-hmm. It was just like you can't teach that.
What about you, Billy? Did you feel like you were playing for your country, for Uganda?
Well, because Uganda had been so kind to me that I could not give them everything I had.
Yeah. Was it good just hanging out with the boys, being on a team again?
That was the best part, because they were such a great group of guys, and they were all sponges. Just everything you taught them, they just internalize, and it is a great program. When we got there, we literally had to build the offense and defense from scratch. And Arian, I'm sorry I didn't consult with you before, but I had no idea what I was walking into. I had no idea if they had an offense built. Yeah.
No worries. Why was there no kind of, was it, I mean, this is from the playbook you sent me. I didn't see any kind of like misdirection. Like a reverse or some kind of like, triple option.
We should have done a reverse.
Like, when you teaching, I'm not saying they kids, but when you teaching football to people for the first time,
yeah,
like the defense has hella trouble with misdirection. That's like 101.
That's actually how the Kenyan team scored on us, by running the reverse. And we talked about it on paper because we had a scout who saw the Kenyans practicing, and they were like, they run a reverse. So before the game, we talked about the reverse on paper, but we arrived at the field too late to actually practice it on the field. And that's how they scored on us.
We had to keep it simple because we literally in 3 days put in a full, not a high school offense, but a Pop Warner offense. Because when we arrived on the Wednesday, they had nothing.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
that's why you consult, man. That's why you consult.
I know. But when I got there, the time difference, literally, these guys picked up so much in such a short amount of time. You couldn't put in any more. And we did run some option stuff. Once we got into the game, we made some adjustments. And we picked up a lot of yards on that. The thing is, when the full tape comes out, when the video comes out on Donnie's YouTube page, you're going to see that we literally got 5 yards on every carry. On every offensive play, we got 5 yards, except for some 3 significant points in the game where basically it wasn't the Ugandans' fault. It was absolutely officiating. One thing I want to do if we go back is bring an American official to teach a conference to the East African referees, because not only were they understaffed on the ref squad, but they were, underinformed when it came to stuff like offsides. Like, we had 2 plays that were super crucial plays where basically the nose tackle swiped the ball before the center could snap it and cause chaos.
When we ran the tush push, apparently
Uganda,
the center never even hiked it, and they just rushed it. And it was called a fumble, and they ran it back for a touchdown. So the tush push maybe was the low point of the game.
Did you guys think about implementing your own rules to start cheating once you saw the lack of officiating?
I know. We taught them so much discipline. Literally, we concentrated all week on, like, we would do drills to make sure they went when the ball was moved and the ball was snapped. Like, we did so much.
We should have cheated.
Yeah,
we should have,
especially because I had to be I had to be on the chain gang in the second half, and I had never done that, and so I could have just kept on telling the guy, "Oh no, it's first down, it's first down."
Yeah,
it was, dude. The thing is, we need East Africa needs officiating, because that whole thing was wild. I mean,
Billy, I'm noticing the sunburn pattern on your left arm. Can you just hold the side of your left arm up real quick? What are those dots? What are the circles?
The peeling of my skin.
Oh, yeah, you got fucked up.
Yeah, dude, Africa always wins.
Yeah,
mosquito bitten.
You're at the equator, right?
Like, it's
you
in the motherland, brother.
Yeah,
you are bugging, family. Billy, that radiation is strong there, cuz.
He was very cool, calm, and collect as a coach for most of the time, except for the first half of the game. I've never seen him screaming so loud. He was very upset at the refs and just like the chaos of the game, but I was getting a little scared. I think all the Ugandan fans there were a little scared. I think all of our players were a little scared because Billy was going off.
So where are we at right now with Uganda football, with the relationship between Donnie, Billy, and the Uganda Football Federation? Are things cool between you guys?
Oh, we're in a great place.
Yeah, we're definitely cool with all of the players. It's just football.
The thing is, we had some trouble subbing on defense after the first change of possession. A couple of guys on defense. We
didn't have enough like jerseys and pads. So when we did subs, they would then have to like trade their jerseys and sometimes trade pads, which took a while.
But then what I freaked out about is, by the way, these are 25 to 40-year-old men. These aren't kids.
25 to 32, I think.
Yeah, 25 to like 35-year-old men. So there's a video of me yelling at a bunch of guys because we had a backup quarterback have to sub in on defensive end because guys weren't making sure they had their pads on to get in. And, I know to the outsider, when you see that clip of me just going ballistic, trying to organize the guys and get them to go in, I mean, people who played football understand that in the chaos of it all, you have to like yell orders quickly and like, be decisive. There was nothing else. Like,
do they need more pads?
They
More
do
uniforms?
need more pads. And I want to go. So they play Kenya again on December 12th.
Okay. It's
And-
tough to beat a team twice in a season.
Yeah, but we're going to beat them away. But literally, they didn't beat us. They didn't beat us. When you see the full film, the only film that's out there is from Kenyans who have posted online.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the worst plays of the Ugandans are being posted by the Kenyans.
It's also
When
you
you
getting hawked down.
Yes.
Why are you so
Yes.
slow, bruh?
No, I wasn't slow. I was tired. I was tired.
Billy took
I was-
a bunch of prednisone before the game to help with his ankle, and he warned me. He was like, "So when I take prednisone, like I don't really feel pain, but I do get a little agitated." And he was definitely a little agitated out there.
I mean, the whole thing, it's like a fever dream. Being back home after everything we went through is like Alice in Wonderland. Like I just woke up from getting my head hit.
Okay, so when's the rematch?
December 12th.
And are you guys going over there for that?
I want to go so bad. Those guys played so hard. Like it's, oh man.
So Hank said he would try to make it possible for us to go back. But say if we go back and lose to Kenya again, then this series will truly be the saddest thing I've ever put out.
We need to bring some U.S. officials, because a part of the other thing was there was only one Kenyan ref, and the chain gang was all Kenyan, and they weren't moving the chains correctly. So we would get 5 yards every run, but on third down, it would be 3rd and 5. And after, like, in my head, it was like, oh, we just got 2 5-yard gains. It should be first down. But then it's 3rd and 10. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
So I get that. I would like to see some redemption. I mean, what a story this would be if you guys worked for the next month. Put in all the efforts, like 24/7, as Hank would say at the start of the championship DVD. This loss is like the lowest of the lows, and we do 24/7 Uganda football. If only we knew like an all-pro running back that could go over there, and contribute to the team,
and not play, but maybe just ref or coach.
Get on the plane and ref, nigga.
Arian, Uganda needs you.
Would you want to coach?
Uganda needs you, Arian.
Would I want to go to Uganda?
No, Kenya, Nairobi. There's direct flights to Nairobi.
I hear it has one of the best nightlifes in Africa.
My nightlife days is over, my brother.
Okay.
When is it? December 12th?
Yes.
Let me see here.
It could literally be like a 3-day trip. Show up, score 2 touchdowns for us in the first quarter, and then just hop on a flight and go home.
Coach Foster. It's got a nice ring to it.
I don't know. I don't think I can do that.
You don't have to play. We just need you there.
No, I'm just like,
imagine if he did play, though.
Schedule-wise.
That'd be so awesome.
Dude, I can't wait till the real film comes out, because everyone's roasting me.
Brother, you look slow.
I know.
Fuck.
But I was playing on a broke ankle.
Yeah, which is another thing. It's like, yo, the whole shit was a setup, bro. You just got set the fuck up from the jump, man. That shit's wild.
Dude, I mean, it's fine. I mean,
we only got to play like a half of football because the game started so late. Like, we couldn't get a bus to our own field to play. So the Kenyan team beat us to the field by like 3 hours. They had time to warm up. We were waiting at a place maybe a 10-minute drive away, just waiting for the buses to show up. And they never did. So we finally arrived and just had to suit up and play. And so then they decided to just leave the clock running. And then so after each play, Billy's complaining to the refs, like trying to teach them how to, but the clock is still running. Mm-hmm. So we probably only played a half of football. The first half and the second half, the clock's just running.
Yeah, it sounds like they need to clean up some of the details. What if, and I'm just spitballing here, let's just brainstorm right now. Could you guys use a guy like Taylor Luan and Will Compton on the Uganda national team?
I mean, that would be a dream come true for all the players, because the players do follow the NFL. After the game, we were all watching, and they get really into it, and they probably know who those guys are.
Blake Bortles.
No, I just have to say, what they need is referees, the organizations of the game, because these guys.
I also think having an all-pro left tackle would probably be
they don't
small.
They don't need. They don't. No.
They don't need.
They don't need to play. We won.
Taylor.
We didn't. No. They didn't need them. They literally the Ugandans beat the Kenyans every fucking play. Every fucking play they beat them. In the second half, we got the defense right, and they had them posted. Once we got the first down markers right, we had a 4th and 30. And then they canceled the quarter, and they didn't know how quarters worked. So they said that they were kicking the ball off after it was 4th and 30. Kenya was way back there. They got screwed.
How does this happen as far as them not understanding the rules?
Yeah.
There was no meeting beforehand. There was nothing. They would just.
There's very little funding for the sport out there. It's so new that, there's not a lot of support, because most Ugandans don't even know what American football is. So, I have no idea. It's not developed at all. Someone told Billy before the game, they were like, if we lose, I don't even know if there is still going to be a Ugandan football program.
That's
when I heard that, I
played.
shat my pants.
That's why I played. I would have let the Ugandan starting quarterback play the whole time, but
you were trying to save his job by taking it.
Yeah.
It sounds counterintuitive, but you had to be there.
Yeah, no, I understand.
You had to be there.
Well, and he still didn't save his job.
That's true.
We still lost.
Dude, it was the worst loss ever, because they didn't deserve to lose. If you watch the game, we're going to have it. Donnie's YouTube's going to have it. The only thing out there on the game is all the Kenyan highlights. So it's
a hatchet job on Billy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a hatchet job. It is, because they don't see they posted the one clip of going nuts on the guys, and I'm getting a lot of shit for it. But literally, I'm just trying to get our subbing right, our defense to offense transition right, and we had guys who weren't getting ready and guys who didn't want to play, but they were wearing the equipment that some guys needed. And we had I had to, in those moments, you can't be cordial, you can't be kind. You have to just lay it out. Hey, we need guys who are playing to have their shirts on.
I'm currently watching the highlights, and the opening kickoff looks like Brucey from The Longest Yard when he's like, "Hey, why can't I kick, huh?" And he's like, "Okay, get out there and kick." And he kicks it 5 yards. He goes, "That's why. Sit down and shut up." That was the opening kickoff.
Well, no, they tried doing an onside kick, the Kenyans, on the first play.
It doesn't look intentional.
I would have done onside kicks. I also would have done the Sean Payton trick, where you have a guy lay down in the end zone so nobody sees him, and then you throw it across the field.
Fuck, dude. If you watch our first offensive drive, we're getting 5 yards every carry. We're running inside run. We have the right personnel, and we're going boom, boom, quarterback power, dive left, dive right, and we're marching down the field. And then all of a sudden, the ref starts fucking around, and the chains aren't moving right. I start going nuts because I know we're literally about to get robbed. And we have to stop the game for a while because I'm you're not moving the chains the right way.
Did you get penalized, Billy, for yelling at the refs?
No, but the ref gave me a half-ass delay of game when the ball was snapped when there was 3 seconds left. And then he called it. And I was like, that's the one penalty you're going to call? And then, you can't complain because you had a ref who's being paid by the Kenyan organization. And
you can't complain because it was just one ref. There was only one ref who actually had taken a course and kind of knew the rules, but you can't ref a game with just one guy.
Yeah, that's a very, very tough position to be put in.
And then when we try to run Uganda, the nose tackle dove on the ball before we snapped it.
That was so sad because that was supposed to be our highlight play. Uganda for the win. And it just backfired and they scored a touchdown.
It was
at that point, I was like, this is tragic.
It was 3rd and 15. It was 3rd and 15. And literally I was in practice, when we ran Uganda, they would just like carry. We would just push 15 yards.
Wait, that was your 3rd and 15 play call? Was a quarterback sneak?
For the vibes. We had to like literally, we had to make them believe. I know it sounds crazy, but we didn't attempt one pass because it was so.
George did, but you didn't pass.
It wasn't worth it. George almost threw 3 interceptions in that rain. The craziest part was that one time the Kenyans kicked our football off the field. I forgot about this, and replaced it with a rubber football in the rain. So no one could grip the football. And that was when we had our second turnover because the center was like, what the fuck is this? And the ball flew over my head and it was insane. I mean,
I think they thought our leather football was too deflated. So it was kind of like Deflategate a bit where they like wouldn't let us use it. But I was like, we need to use a leather ball. They're going to have a pump. And there was no pumps on the field.
But we then got another leather football. But the thing is, they literally just kicked the ball off the field. It's on film.
Okay, so Billy, let's focus on the future, okay? Because it's all about December 12th. 12-12, all eyes on that. What are we going to do differently?
We're going to do nothing differently because these guys are coached up right.
No. Well, yeah, I mean, we need to work on the reverse because every time they ran the reverse, they would get a lot of yards on us. So that's on me. I was the defensive end coach, sort of. I tried to talk them through the reverse before the game, but you can't really prepare unless you're actually on the field seeing it happen.
No, but we, for example, the offense pushed every time. They got 5 yards every time. The offensive line played amazing. And the wide receivers blocked on the outsides. Everyone did their job, and that's all you can ask. We got screwed literally. And, people might not trust me when I say this, but it was nothing we could have done when the refs were that biased. And also, the one defensive mix-up where they had a touchdown, we had 10 men on defense that one play, and we adjusted. We made sure the personnel was right. In the second half, we stopped them every goddamn time. And they just literally didn't let us score because of technicalities. They called delay of game, all sorts of stuff. And it is ridiculous that, it really has to do, when we go out on December 12th, I'm working with USA Football. I'm calling referee associations because I want to coach a seminar in Eastern Africa to have all the refs in the area come and learn and then have that coach lead the referee team because those guys work so goddamn hard. They worked way too damn hard to have the outcome that happened. And
I understand that, Billy. I understand how emotional you are. You must have to. There should be like some tweaks made though, because I want to beat the fuck out of Kenya in December.
The game plan worked. When the full film comes out, you're going to be like, holy shit.
All right, there's this clip that Arian was talking about that Big T just dropped in the group chat. It's from the Kenya Federation of American Football. The tweet says, Hobson Ndeje, the fearless linebacker, effortlessly tackles the giant from Uganda Generals, halting their run with remarkable ease. And the giant.
But do you see that? Do you see that?
You're called the giant.
The giant from Uganda.
I saw that.
But what people,
okay, Billy's going to be crying again.
No, but people don't understand. That's a 4-yard gain. That was a read option where we had a fumble. Like if you look at that, that's a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, it is.
So if we get that on first down and then on second down, our running back, who's amazing, he was a doctor.
That was a 3-yard gain at most.
3 yards. But how many yards are we aiming for every down?
But I'm
3.5. We're trying to get 3.5 yards every down, and we did. We got that.
Even this angle's got me questioning the 3. I don't know.
Thing is, look at the chains. Look at the chains in the back. Look at the chains in the backfield. That was one of our worst runs. By the way, remember, we're looking at the Kenyan highlights.
There was one time in the second half when
the highlights?
Billy put me on the chain gang, and then I'm focused on like filming the game as well and stuff. So I'm
you should have been fucking focused on the chain gang.
And then I start moving the chains wrong, and then I look over, Billy's on the other side, like Donnie, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, oh shit, yep.
They were moving them wrong the whole time, and these kids were getting robbed.
I just need this highlight to loop while we're talking about this. I just needed to loop. This is the Ugandan giant.
I actually think that we need to talk about the hustle effort by the wide receiver on that play. His explosiveness off the line. I feel like he could have a good he could really drive those first couple steps a little harder.
I'm going to give all the game footage to Che, because Che is a football savant, as we all know.
Yep.
And he's going to work out a game plan.
Good.
I'm watching the full highlights right now, and there's the reverse that they score the touchdown on, and then they run a fake reverse for the 2-point conversion and get it. And Billy's just losing his shit on the sideline.
Because we had 10 men out on the field, Big T.
That guy for Kenya that ran the reverse, he's very fast.
Yeah,
fast.
So he fucking said after the game that he admitted the fifth, that they jumped the ball. The thing is that the Kenyan highlights, which is the only film we have out on the game, they don't show them jumping the ball.
I think it's probably because Kenya was the only team that had highlights in the game, which is why they're only showing Kenyan highlights.
Are you kidding me? Our fourth down stop? We had so many highlights, and there was just no time. I mean, these guys tried so damn hard, and they executed so damn well, except on the one time they had 10 men out on the field.
This chain shit is fucking with me. Okay. Yeah. I just am confused, because if the chains ain't moving, and were they spotting the ball incorrectly?
No, the chains were moving too much.
Yeah,
that was
they would just move it to the ball after every play.
So every time, that run you just saw.
Loki on y'all.
Well, that's why I was going nuts during the game and yelling at the chain guys. But the thing is, honestly, like, you got to look at the positives. We can't just blame everything on the refs.
Yes.
The positives is we literally went in and installed a full offense that was catered to Uganda, a full offense and defense. The most plays they said they've had in any game, and we literally catered every play to a place in Uganda. So they were able to interpret how the offense works through using, like, you know how a lot of American football players are like, you know, Dallas, Texas, Omaha. We implemented Ugandan city names to help them memorize the plays. And we used terminology that they'd be used to in order to run the plays. And honestly,
you're not going to get any pushback from us about the job that you did spreading American football and showing guys like what it's like to how we play it over here in the United States, and then giving them tools that they can use to end up loving the game of football more over there. I think you guys are great global ambassadors for the game. I just want to beat Kenya. That's all
I want to fucking beat Kenya too.
I want to beat Kenya. I want to fucking kick Kenya's teeth in.
Billy, at one point
Can
on
you
the
pull
trip,
my dick out of your mouth? That's what I'm going to say to him.
This was like 5 days before the game, and we're at this safari lodge, and Billy had a few beers, and we're just like out to eat, and Billy is just like talking very loud, and he's like, "We are going to kill Kenya. I'm going to murder Kenya." And no one in this restaurant, it's completely quiet. Nobody knows the context of what he's talking about. And Billy's like, kill Kenya, kill. And like all these people in the restaurant are just staring at us. Like, is this guy okay? Like, is this dude going to do like a terrorist attack in Kenya?
He's like a boar.
Yeah. And I was like, Billy, you have to understand, nobody knows what we're talking about. You can't just be screaming, kill Kenya.
The thing is, the kids, I mean, the men, they did everything they could.
Yeah.
They were motivated. They did everything. They literally got robbed. And if you look at the full tape, and it's going to be coming out, hyping up, Donnie does, this video is going to show you what we're talking about. They had huge fourth down stops. They got robbed by a combination of timing, lack of offsides calls, and the first down chain marker stuff. Because literally, it'd be 1st and 10 starting the drive. Okay, dive left. We'd run dive left, 5 yards. I look at the chains. I'm like, what the fuck? That wasn't a loss. We just got 5 yards. What's going on? And I'd be trying to run the plays, and I couldn't be like paying attention. Then we'd run the football again, and it would be 3rd and 10 after we got like a couple yards on 2nd down. I'd be like, oh my God, they're not moving the chains. And then I literally stopped the game and was like, what the fuck is going on? We couldn't run our offense because our offense was in the rain, in the mud. We were focused on running the damn football, and we were doing what we were supposed to do and getting the yardage that we were supposed to get. And It's a goddamn travesty that they robbed.
I talked to someone on the Kenyan team, and he was like, I will say Uganda has improved remarkably from the last time we played them. So we definitely helped. But yeah, now we're on to Nairobi.
We can do this.
We're on to Nairobi.
We absolutely can do this. And Billy, I just want you to know I'm not doubting you. I'm going to wait for the all 22. I'm going to review the all 22. We're going to grind it. I'm sure you guys got fucked. I'm sure you were very passionate. I'm sure that you left it all out on the field.
No, I didn't even think that the guys.
I don't think that you were going to be able to play with that leg injury.
No, the worst was the fucking guys, dude. They literally trusted in us. They followed everything we did T by T. And for us to go out there and lose how we did.
Let it out, Billy.
Dude, I'm not going to cry again. I'm back in America. I'm separated from the events. I literally was bawling my eyes out
Billy.
for these dudes because
he was crying. He was crying on my shoulder for a while after the game.
That's okay. Like I love that. I love how much you put into it.
They didn't fucking deserve that. They didn't deserve what happened.
I know.
Yeah, well, they did not.
You did everything you could, Billy. I want you to know. Hey, Billy.
No, I didn't do what I could. They
Billy.
did what they could. And
Billy,
they
look
got
at me.
screwed over fucked up shit.
Billy, look at me.
And
Sir,
working with these guys.
Billy.
Working with these guys, and they were working so hard. And they learned their playbooks every day. And they came to every practice. And we did tests. We did fucking tests on the playbook. And we were talking about, everybody was doing it T by T. And we were running the team. And for them to get robbed like that is fucked.
I know, but Billy, it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
There was game day was chaos.
For them to go out and be disciplined on the ball and not jump the snap. For them to, we ran those plays every time. We did drills to make sure they wouldn't jump off sides. And for them to get fucked by another team that was undisciplined and then a ref that wouldn't call.
Oh, man.
It's fucked, dude.
Everything that went wrong
It's
on
not.
game day.
I need a pee.
Fault. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not your fault. Donnie, can you just run this to the Billy translator real quick while he's peeing? Like, how much of what he's saying is true and how much is like, Billy?
What he's saying is true. It is like, we got fucked by the refs. We were running kind of like smart, safe football and getting like 3 to 6 yards of play. And then, but like just so much went wrong. Like we got to the field really late. It started torrential downpouring right before the game started. The refs didn't know what they were doing. So we got screwed. Kenya also, they scored a touchdown and a 2-point conversion on us fair and square. So you can't really say anything about that, but we made the right adjustments in the second half, but we just didn't have enough time to play because the clock was running.
Can I ask, was this alleged chain shenanigans happening for them as well?
Well, the one time they scored, it was just on like a 40-yard run.
Right,
so
but like
it wasn't
the whole game, was that happening for them also?
Yeah, they didn't actually have a ton of time on offense, except because they got on offense and did that reverse on like the second play of the game and ran it in for a touchdown. So in the second half, I was on the chain gang. I tried to like correct it, but I think it was fucked for both teams in the first half. But I don't know. I mean, we were probably on offense for a longer time in the first half.
Well, because we were trying to maintain possession.
And they they came and asked me on one play because I had filmed it on my GoPro and the ref was like, I don't know what happened. Maybe we can watch the replay on your camera. And I tried to show them, but the GoPro screen is so small. And so the ref, he was being paid by the Kenyan team. The Kenyan team was who hired him. So he was like, all right, tie goes to Kenya. If I can't see what's happening, I'm just going to side with Kenya.
That kind of makes sense.
I don't blame him.
I have a couple non-football related stories about Billy.
Okay.
One that makes him look very good. One that does not make him look as good, but it's still funny.
Go back to how much work the Ugandan team did?
The Ugandan team, dude,
the Ugandan team put in everything they had. And
yeah,
it sucks what happened because they didn't deserve it all.
One of the most heartbreaking things is like I would have 25-year-old players on the Ugandan team come to me after practice and just telling me how their dream is to play in the NFL. And it's like at age 25, when you don't have a lot of football experience, like I didn't have the heart to tell them like, that's like, I don't know if that's a realistic goal, but the main thing Uganda needs is just more opportunities to play. Because right now, the only 2 chances they have to play are Kenya twice a year. So I was saying I would reach out to like high schools in the U.S., colleges in the U.S., where like if anyone listening to this, if they want to go out and play the Ugandan team, or if they want to invite the Ugandan team to the U.S. to play them, they just need more opportunities to play. I think they're going to try to set up a game against the Ivory Coast, but right now it's like all of these kids, they train and practice so hard, and all they can get at most is 2 games a year.
Also, we had some great players.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of raw talent out there.
Dude, it was insane. Like, also one of our things is the Ugandan team has way better wide receivers than they do linemen. And so we had to spread the ball out, spread the offense. And we couldn't use our wide receivers at all because it was literally a mud bowl. We tried, we used some quick pitches and stuff, but you know, if it was a sunny day that day, we would have put up crazy amounts of points on the Kenyans, because Kenyans were your classic, just like
if the game had started
team.
on time,
they were a slow twitch team. I will say it. They weren't fast. They weren't faster than us.
The Kenyan coach looked like a football guy, though. He was huge.
I'm invested in this now. Like I want to kill Kenya. Me and Billy.
God, yeah, dude.
Let's fucking kill Kenya.
Dude, when you're going, man, they didn't deserve what happened.
I'm sorry, man. Well, thank you for doing that, Donnie, Billy. It sounds like you guys, you're spreading the gospel of American football.
It's going to be one of the most inspiring and beautiful buildups, and then just the last episode of the game is going to be the saddest thing ever.
We're gonna make it right.
But yeah, 12th. But then if we can make it right in Nairobi. I don't know if the game's 100% confirmed. It's hard to know in Africa. They say something and at the last minute we'll be like, oh, I don't know, we couldn't get the funds. But as of now, it seems like it's confirmed. And if it is, I have to go on my honeymoon December 17th. But if it happens December 12th, I can do a quick little trip to Nairobi.
Yeah. How's the jet lag, by the way?
I was puking all last night. I don't know what happened.
Is that jet lag?
I don't think that's jet lag, really. I was going to say, I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning, like so hungry, and I ordered White Castle and just housed White Castle at 5 in the morning.
That sounds awesome.
That was jet lag.
Yeah.
I might have malaria.
Yeah, you might just be sick, Billy.
Yeah, dude.
Billy says he swallowed a lot of mud during the game, which I think Ugandan mud will definitely not sit well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have parasites. We're working on it. But the craziest thing is, if you're a part of a refereeing association in America, like training refs, please reach out, because we'd love to take you to Nairobi. There's a lot of U.S. grants for sports diplomacy, and I think it would do amazing. It would go so far to have you come out and coach a seminar and teach East African referees, because I think there's tons of talent in East Africa, and it would be a goddamn disservice if we didn't try to grow the game there, because literally, like, there's some like Steven, we had a defensive tackle. We had some great linemen. We didn't have many, but we had some great linemen, some great wide receivers that were just on a different level.
Great guys too.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get you back on soon, Donnie. I promise. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
And let's talk about what you need for December the 12th, because I want to support.
For sure.
I think that we can. I'm making it my mission. I want to beat these guys.
Thank you.
Billy had one theory that ended up being right. This isn't related to football. We got attacked by wasps while we were trekking for gorillas. Got attacked by a giant swarm. All of us, I got bit like 6 times. And then afterwards, Billy was like, they're attracted to your vape. Because I had a vape. I was not vaping around the gorillas at all.
Yeah.
But we arrived at one point and our guide was like, okay, if anyone needs to smoke or do anything, do it now. Because we're about to like hike down the hill and see the gorillas. So I was like, all right, I'll take a hit of the vape.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were with some Spanish girls too. They started hitting their vapes too. And then we put them away, walked down the hill to see the gorillas and get attacked by a swarm of wasps. And Billy was like, it's because you guys vaped. Like they're like wasps are attracted to vapes. And I was like, shut up, Billy. That's not true. It's not because
the video from that's hilarious.
It's not because
like,
we vaped.
There's wasps
but then
attacking.
Afterwards, I went on Google and I think actually wasps are attracted to fruity vapes. So that was the one time that Billy was right that trip.
I was right the whole time.
Yeah.
Literally,
And
when we didn't get it, and then
Well,
we almost got attacked by terrorists.
No,
Remember
we didn't get attacked by terrorists. We were at a place that there was a
threatening
terrorist warning,
Westerners?
but we didn't. I will say one thing that Billy was completely out of line. We were at the airport in Egypt, and I was like, all right, we got to keep a low profile here, just being Americans. I think there's a lot of like anti-American sentiment there at the moment. And when we were at the airport about to fly out, Billy was at the bar and chugged a beer, let out a big burp. And then there was another guy at the bar who was just like staring at him, eyes wide open. And then he goes, "America, motherfucker." And I was like, dude, that is the worst thing you can say in the Egypt airport, dude.
No, we had to get to our flight. Like we were chilling and we're like, oh shit, we got to hit our flight. I was like, okay, let me finish my beer. Yeah. So I'm finishing my beer and this guy's just staring at me and his eyes are just getting wider and wider as I
as he chugs it. And then he lets out a huge burp and just goes, "America, motherfucker."
It's so perfect because that confirmed every stereotype that guy had of Americans in like 1 second.
Yes.
All they care about is beer in America.
Yep. But Billy claims it was not a local Egyptian. It was like an Indian guy. I don't know.
Well, because he was drinking.
Okay. All right. But yeah, thanks for having me on. And we'll be in touch. Beat Kenya in Nairobi.
Beat Kenya. We got this.
If you're a ref, if you're part of refereeing association, please contact us.
We're going to take
Billy
a quick break.
If you know any former All Pros, please contact them to get some kind of, play,
Do you want to play?
Something. No, nigga, what the fuck?
I know you don't want to play, so that's why I'm like, hey, come play.
I'm going to stencil you some plays. I'll do that. I'll draw you some plays up there for sure.
I sent you our whole offense. We ran a lot of basic stuff, but it was working.
You need misdirection, bro. You're missing a big play, it sounds like. You had no big plays.
Mm-hmm. Just wait for the footage to come out. The film doesn't lie, and I'll stand on that.
We need a Uganda double pass.
Yes.
You couldn't do that in the downpour we were playing in. You couldn't have too much misdirection because we would have had too many turnovers.
What about the fumble Ruski?
Uganda turned into a fumble Ruski.
All right. Well, we're going to take a very quick break because there's puppies in the office area. And so we're just going to say hi to the puppies. And then we'll be back in...
Kick one for me.
Like 10 minutes. Okay, I'll pick one for you.
No, kick one.
No, okay, yeah. What kind do you want me to pick?
Pick any one and then kick him right in his ribs.
All right. I want to get into the Tennessee Minute here in a second. Big T, I know that are you ticked off by anything this week?
In regards to Tennessee or in general?
Just in general.
Yeah, I do have one that I've wanted to talk about this for years.
Is this more of a teed off?
Yeah.
Okay, teed off. Go off.
So I've wanted to talk about this forever, and I've just never had a place to do it because it's too long for Twitter, but this is the perfect, and I was reminded last night. Basketball games are not the length that they are purported to be.
Okay.
If you ever watch a basketball game, so the college they're supposed to be 40 minutes, NBA they're supposed to be 48. In college, they're 40 minutes and 2 seconds, and in the NBA, they're 48 minutes and 4 seconds. If you ever watch a basketball game, when it gets down to a minute left, either in the half or the quarter, I want you to watch the clock. The clock goes 103, 102, 101. Obviously, each of those lasts for 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Then it goes down to a minute. When it gets to a minute, it sits on 1 minute for a second. So the next thing it should be at is 59.0. Because after it's been on a minute for 1 second, it should be at 59, correct? That makes sense, right?
Wait.
Whoa, Big T, I get what you're saying.
But what happens is,
But when the clock starts, I don't think it counts down from like 12 minutes if we're talking about a quarter. I think it just goes immediately to 11:59 as it's winding down.
now I haven't looked at that.
Okay. That could be a hole.
It could be. I need to do that bit of research. But when it gets down to a minute, it sits on a minute for a second, and then it goes to 59.9.
Mm-hmm.
So from the time it gets to 1 minute to 59 seconds is 3 seconds, not 2.
Okay.
Or 2 seconds, not 1.
I understand what you're saying. I just feel like we might have discovered a small hole in your logic.
I haven't looked into that.
Is there anybody at this office that is like a clock expert when it comes to basketball?
I don't know. Is there?
A table expert, somebody that has worked at the clock table,
It seems like you're getting at something.
cares very deeply about the clock in college basketball?
I have no clue who you're talking about. Oh, is this Rico?
This is Rico.
Okay.
Can I call him?
Sure.
He's here.
Yeah, he is here. I
He's in
just
the
saw him.
office.
He
Do you want me to go
he
get
almost
him?
killed a dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you
He
go
did
get him?
almost. Yeah, I'll go grab him.
Do you know where he is?
Yep.
Okay.
He was playing golf.
All right. Yeah, this is gonna be good. Because if we're gonna ask one expert, he would be the guy to talk to. But before Rico gets here, Arian, did you watch any of the highlights of the NBA in-season tournament last night?
No, I didn't even know it was a thing, bro. What?
Well, you need to watch a clip immediately of the Timberwolves game.
All right, shoot it. Shoot it in the...
Okay, Timberwolves Warriors.
Just go search
I
Draymond
did-
on Twitter.
I saw everybody talking about Draymond choking somebody.
Yeah,
I saw that.
just search Draymond Green on Twitter, and you will see. Because Draymond was ready to go from the opening tip. He was like, I just want an excuse to choke out Gobert. The speculation is that Draymond didn't want to play in the game anyways because he doesn't like playing when Steph Curry's not on the court. So people were speculating even before the game started, like Draymond's going to do something stupid and get himself kicked out so he doesn't have to play today. And it was the first 20 seconds of the game? It was like 2 minutes in. It was 2 minutes in. First 2 minutes of the game, Draymond just goes right after Rudy Gobert, gets him in a chokehold. Rudy doesn't even try to fight back. Rudy just puts his hands up in the air and gets backed away. And then nobody came to Rudy Gobert's back. Like if I was him, I would be pissed off at my teammates. Billy, what would happen in our men's league basketball game if somebody went and started to choke out? I don't know. Who's your favorite teammate, Billy?
Nick Mulcahy.
If somebody choked out Nick Mulcahy, would you go after that person?
I'd be throwing hands, dude. I would have been suplexing motherfuckers. By the way, sneak peek, there's a couple suplexes in the Ugandan Kenyan game.
By you?
I went in on defense in the fourth quarter.
Did you get any turnovers?
Well, I literally was like, it was at that time where it was like, we're not gonna win, so I'm just gonna start throwing dudes.
Did it work out?
Yeah,
Sick.
too well.
So Aaron,
It looks like at the end. What's his name? Marcus Towns' cousins? I don't know.
Karl Anthony Towns?
There you go. It looked like he tried to pull Draymond off afterward. I mean, towards the end.
I have to say, very random question, but what is up with the nomenclature with like those mid-Atlantic names that are so like there's like 7 names in a row? Karl Anthony Towns.
Those
know
are
what I'm saying?
mid-Atlantic?
Yeah, what is
Yeah.
mid-Atlantic?
Are you talking about hyphenated?
Yeah, like a lot of guys in the Mid-Atlantic region that spans like back to Kentucky, they have multiple names.
I don't know what you're talking about. Like I don't know.
These
if
are
this is a
just
regional
hyphenated last names. I don't know that those are
Yeah,
any more prevalent in one region of the
It's just a
country.
dude who had parents that split, and he wants to
Oh.
represent both his parents' names.
All right, that's on me. That's on me.
Mid-Atlantic. It's a Mid-Atlantic thing.
It only happens there.
We're joined by a very special guest in studio. It's Rico Bosco. You could probably hear him breathing for the last 30 seconds
Thanks.
after he sat down.
Thanks.
Rico,
Can I ask a quick question?
yeah, go ahead.
Billy, in a movie, they usually call it a musical what?
What?
Musical blank.
Call what a musical?
Like the music in a movie is usually called the blank.
Oh, a musical score.
Okay, I'm surprised you knew what a score was after your trip to
Oh,
Africa.
fuck you, Rico.
Yeah.
Rico, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. We have so much beef that you're coming here with that shit, dude. Dude. You have no
that shit.
fucking
I haven't seen that
idea.
shit.
You have
I'm
no
trying
fucking
earlier.
idea,
Fuck that
Rico.
shit, take it easy,
You're
bro.
fucking beat as fuck. You couldn't play in a fucking
probably
game
right,
if you
but
wanted
that
to.
shit.
I do
Billy,
know if
talk
I was
No,
defending.
dude, I'm not fucking standing
I haven't
for
seen
this
a
shit.
letdown like this in our country since the
No,
last election.
no. Wait till you see. Wait till you see this fucking film, motherfucker. Oh, now you want to talk shit. Now you want to talk shit.
playful
You were
jab.
kind to me
You
the
wanna
whole
defend me
time. Oh, I'm sorry.
jabs.
Oh, well, I'm a new man now. I'm sorry. And
PFT,
you're
you
coming
wanna
out
weigh
like
in
being
here?
nice to people.
Playful
And
jab?
now you want to come at me. Well, we're at our lowest point.
PFT,
You did come in
All
hot,
right?
Rico.
You want to weigh in here?
You can't.
Yeah,
Arian, you want to weigh in? Playful jab?
Yeah.
Playful jab or hateful diss?
No, but this guy doesn't say shit to me in the fucking office.
I say hello
And
to
he
you
wants to
every
act
day,
like
you
we're all
maniac.
we're all
It sound
hotty
like y'all
toddy.
need, hey, I'm
Billy.
gonna keep it a being. It sound like y'all just need
The
to
last
this
time
one out,
you-
man.
Yeah, dude, I'll
Gloves on.
fucking fight him
Billy,
next
you
week,
gloves
dude.
on.
Billy, I need to
Dude,
put some
dude, I'll
So,
fucking do it
how we
any
used to
fucking
do it,
day.
How we used to do it.
We say hello every day in the New York office. You've been on tilt since you found out Red Rhino
No.
makes
Hold on,
350K.
hold on. How
You
we
were
used to
on
do it
Don
was
tilt.
like,
So
listen,
Seems
how
like
we
a
used
you
to do
issue.
it was, how we used to do it was,
yes or no,
it sound
Billy?
like,
You've
it
been
sound
on
like y'all
tilt.
got some real
That's
fun.
true.
Hold on, B. Hold on. Sound like y'all got some real fun. So we used to be like, yo, just give me a 30. And like we had some New York dudes, because we used to like every day in the circle, we used to have a dozen session where we used to just clown on people's shoes, whatever. And then two dudes, it started to get a little too personal. Be like, you know what, man, just give me 30.
I don't think that's
Give him
personal.
30.
I think
He's
that's
got
a playful
kids.
Shooting
jab.
30.
do
What
that.
that mean?
You
Don't
can't
mean
do that to
nothing.
his kids.
Playful
Like,
jab.
shooting that-
Shooting 30 and afterwards y'all shake it up and it's over.
You know that
That's the
Billy just
rules.
laid his heart out on the line.
Playful
He
jab.
went over to Uganda
Playful
and he
jab.
coached the guys up, and he went out.
I'm
he went out
sorry,
to war with them.
Rico. I'm gonna be the bigger man. It's too raw right
All right,
now.
fine,
Give him 30.
fair
It's too
enough.
raw.
Nah, y'all need to agree to 30.
Playful jab.
Would you agree to 30 with Billy?
We just did 30. That's it. I do a jab.
No,
he
no,
does
no,
a
no,
jab.
no,
That's
no,
it.
no.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Physical.
It's a nutbag.
Physical 30.
Put on the
Yo,
gloves.
what about 180 seconds in rough
He
and
said,
rowdy,
Nah,
Rico?
just 30. Nah, just 30. Shake
He's
it
a
up and it's
nutbag.
over.
I'm disabled. I'm not allowed to participate.
Yeah. So you'll be talking shit like you're able-bodied, dude.
I took a jab at a African football game.
Or you took a jab. That was a
it
jab.
was
at Billy
more than that,
personally.
dude.
No, I just
it
said he
was
recognized the
countries.
score.
It was a
Team-
personal jab
All
at
right,
Billy.
whatever. What
Okay.
question did you
All
have?
right. So we brought.
Hey, to be fair, every football game is an African football game, my brother.
Yeah.
So we,
Except then when there's one white guy.
that's the Ugandan giant you're talking to
Yeah.
right now, Rico. Put some respect on his
I
name.
like Arian. Me and Arian
No,
got
no,
along.
they called me.
I'm
Not
talking about-
Arian.
no, I'm talking about.
No, you know what they called me over there?
Oh, Arian's the
Get him out of
Ugandan
here.
giant now.
Get him out of here, bro. I'm a Ugandan giant, my nigga. Get
No,
the fuck
that's
outta
what.
here.
No, they called me the silverback.
No,
Mzungu.
we know. He just called me the Ugandan.
Yeah,
giant.
that was fucked up.
Oh,
That was fucked up, Rico.
I
Get
apologize.
him out of here. Get him out of here.
No.
Okay, so I
In
have,
fairness, Arian made the last comment before that statement, so I did think you were talking about him.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Okay, in a basketball game, clock's ticking down, getting down to a minute left in the quarter of the half, right?
Yes.
One
Well,
of
no. Only in the second half.
what do you mean?
Doesn't stop on made baskets.
I'm not talking about it
Okay.
stopping. I'm actually talking
All right.
about the exact
Got it.
inverse. So it goes 103, 102, 101, 1 minute. When it gets to 1 minute, it sits on there for a second. So the next thing it should be at is 59.0 because it is the second has elapsed while it's sat on 1 minute. But it goes to 59.9. So my hypothesis is that basketball games are 2/4 seconds longer than they claim to be. But then PFT brought up, does it immediately go to 11:59 the second the ball is tipped, or does it sit on 12 minutes for a second?
I don't know if I've noticed it sit for a second.
Let me find like a basketball game. We'll watch the clock.
I don't think that it does. I think it immediately ticks. So at the jump ball.
Oh, now the jump ball I don't know about, but at 1 minute
We'll say in a college game, right? So in a college game, they tip the ball off. You hit the button. You're on the scores table, right? You hit the button. It immediately goes to 11:50 or to 19:59.
Yeah.
It doesn't linger on
Right.
20 minutes for a full second.
Right. You think at the different minutes in the game it does stay for?
Big T thinks that it stays at the
Okay,
1
so
minute.
let's watch. So
Too long.
here it's at a minute 20.
Okay.
All right.
I want to watch the clock rather than the score bug. But
I mean,
but
just watch.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
watch. They're in sync.
yeah.
107, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1 minute. It sits there for a second, and then so from a minute to 59 is 2 seconds.
I think that's more of a transitional layout, if that makes sense.
But
like
I've watched it in arenas, and it's the same.
Well, I will give you this stat. How long is the shot clock?
In what sport?
Men's basketball.
It's 30.
No, it's not.
Well, it's 31 because it does the same thing as this.
No, it's not. It's 30.9. To that extent, it starts, and you wonder why it wouldn't click right to 29. It takes that 9/10 of a second.
So that's on the shot clock. Do we know about the game clock?
I've watched.
I think the game clock still, they say, is full 20.
So Big T could be right here.
He could be right, but I just think it's a transitional move
watched
from that
it in
one
arenas.
to yeah. I think you could be onto something.
It's of no consequence, but it's just something I've noticed forever, and it triggers me.
So I know this for a fact that the shot Rico's right about the shot clock. When it resets to 30, it does stay on
30.9, yes.
But I think at the opening tip, we got to watch an opening tip.
But then that wouldn't make sense, though, if I looked on there, but most of the scorebook hasn't come up by the time they tip.
Yeah.
But if it does it for the shot clock, it would make sense it does the same thing for the game clock.
In which case, you might have uncovered something big there.
Yeah.
No, this goes deep.
It does.
Rico, so you've never thought about this. You've worked at clock tables your entire life.
It looks like a minute goes right down to 59, but I saw it. It did look like it took a second.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that could be the transitional.
I've looked at it in arenas to make sure.
That's fair.
All right, he's stumped.
I am.
I've never seen Rico at a loss for words before.
I want to look at it.
Rico, can you ref football?
No.
You don't want to
Too many rules.
come ref some football?
Too many rules. I think you need to know them in and out. That's why my dad's a good umpire. At any point, you need to know what you can pull out in baseball. It's very hard to umpire baseball. Basketball, it narrows down what's going to happen. Football, I think, is difficult. Watching too many guys.
You got any takes you've been dying to get off?
No. How much do we have a countdown till January 20th?
Who you like in the primaries?
I usually don't know who's playing.
Who's playing?
I'm more of a I watch a little game tape and then I decide, that guy's my favorite guy.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right, pop quiz, Rico. Who's your favorite Sunbelt school?
James Madison.
Thank you. Good answer.
Good answer.
That's correct.
All right.
Finally, we learn, we grow. I'd like you to apologize to Arian for calling him the Ugandan giant.
In fairness, he was speaking right before. Arian, I apologize.
We've
We've had nothing but positive interactions.
That's facts, except for this one.
Yeah.
I was telling, bro. I'm just joking
all
around
good.
with it, bro.
All right. Well, thank you, Rico. Would you like to apologize for Billy for rubbing it in was too raw?
I'm sorry I rubbed it in, but I'm also sorry
Playful
that
jabs.
But Rico,
Hey.
Rico,
Hey,
once you
Hey,
see
Rico's
the tape-
apologies are kind of trash, bro.
I'm sorry you got offended.
Prefaces like,
I
bro,
consider it,
it's your fault. No, it ain't on me. I'll take it or whatever, but it's you, honestly.
Yeah. Apologizing is admitting defeat. I'm like, you
You
can't
got a
break
shorty?
me.
You got a girl? Yeah,
married.
How did them apologies go?
Usually we don't usually see those on camera, so I'm rolling over real quick. Here I still got to do you can't admit defeat. It shows weakness.
You think it shows weakness? I disagree.
Over there?
I think a strong man apologizes.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I'm sorry, Rico. I'm sorry that through decades of working a basketball clock, you did not notice that you were giving 1 second to everybody
Fair
every
enough.
single game.
The minute, Big T's onto something.
Yeah.
So
All right.
Just watch it next time you watch a game.
I will. I like this table, by the way.
Thank you. It's a desk, but yeah, I appreciate it. It's a question mark.
It's also a table.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
also a table. It's both.
Yeah, I like
But
it.
mostly a question mark.
Yeah. But the only thing is you don't have the aerial view of it.
We do have a distant shot. See up
Oh.
there?
That's
pretty
just
good.
for Zoom, though.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
like that.
Well,
All
thank you, Rico.
All right, good show.
Hey, Rico, you want to plug something?
Yeah, Healthy Debate 4:00. We got Cyber Monday coming up. I have a game of the year Saturday, Volume 2.
What's that?
Kansas State.
Oh,
Who are they
Kansas
playing?
State.
I will say, Rico, I really enjoy healthy debate. I actually do.
Nice. You can create like 5,000 more YouTube channels to view it every day. That would help us as well.
There we go.
Okay,
Billy will
try.
get his best Russian bots on it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. I'll call the Ugandans.
Yeah, they got
I'll call
YouTube out
the
there. They got
Ugandans.
YouTube out there.
Yeah, they do. But only the Kenyans do. So all the highlights are like only the Kenyan highlights.
They were actually big fans of Riggs.
Oh, yeah.
See that?
Riggs was
Yeah,
in
that was
full
actually
beef today.
wild.
Riggs in a big beef today.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Rico.
All right. Good job.
All right. Look into that second, okay?
That's crazy.
I got a question, Billy.
Yeah.
What country did you just visit?
I visited Uganda.
Why do you say Ugandans? I mean, you said Uganda. Like, I don't. Where does that come from?
Why do you say Ghanaians? You know
What?
You know what I'm saying? Like Ghana and Ghanaians.
Because it would sound weird if you said Ghanaians.
I don't know that, but I don't think it's Ugandans. I think it's Ugandans.
I may have said it wrong. But
I was just curious. Honestly, I don't know. You may be right. I was just curious.
well, the thing
why you
is,
did it.
actually, the word is when you ask someone over there, like, where are you from? They give you their tribe names.
Which is
so-
fire, by the way.
It is in the tribal. I mean,
Did you ask about Lukanga? I told you to. You forgot.
Lukanga,
Mm-hmm.
near Kampala.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
in Kampala.
Yeah, it's in Kampala. They're the ones around the city. That's your friend, right?
Yeah, they were like big into agriculture, but his dad was like he taught them off like financial literacy. He got a it's a really dope ass story actually. We should have my brother on the pod, man. He's
Hell
a beautiful
yeah.
story because they were fleeing from I think it was
Idi Amin.
Idi Amin, yeah, and then
Idi Amin.
Coney, and then that whole Coney
Dude.
shit that was in Uganda.
Dude, that Coney stuff was insane.
Yeah, so he lived through all of that shit. He lost
Yeah.
brother, he lost a sister. It was a real thing, and so his dad got refugee status in Denver, Colorado. They settled in Denver, Colorado, and he moved in when he was like 12.
So they called me the silverback Mzungu. So Mzungu is like
Yeah.
British. You know what Mzungu is?
I know.
It's just
lion,
like
white. What?
it's like white man.
White man. I know. Lion is what is lion? It's like Mpolomogo. I think that's it. Mpolomogo.
Yeah, I think so. But the craziest thing was we went to the source of the Nile, and there was two tribes separated by the source of the Nile. And when we went out there, the other tribe was literally just like being like, "Fuck you guys" on the other side of the river. It was wild. So like, I apologize if I mispronounce Ugandans, because every time I'd be like, "Oh, are you Ugandan?" They're like, "No, I'm Uzbuko," or they'd give their tribe name. I didn't hear it that much.
Yeah, no, they do. That's what's dope. So like, if you know, like, if you know somebody like last name, you know where they from. Like that's really dope about that. Which also gets into a lot of etymology
Well,
about
that was the wild
African Americans in America. Like,
Yeah.
why there's a disconnect because we don't actually know where we're from.
Yeah, I mean, think about one country, but you literally have so many people from so many different places who came to America.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand it until I went to Uganda and I saw that literally the mileage in like Uganda's the Pearl of Africa, which also means it's small. So the fact that there were so many tribes in that small of an area, looking at all of West Africa and being like, oh my God, there were so many tribes in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And they all got put to the same place.
Mm-hmm. It's
Was
also
wild.
why the Muslims in America, like Malcolm X, the FOI, Fruit of Islam, it's why they all changed their last names. It's
Yeah.
because like your last name is associated with like Foster. Like I came from a slave plantation. Like when you go far enough down the line, like it was a slave owner's name, which is fucking crazy to think about.
But what's crazy with that is when we were doing the show on the Ottoman Empire is that, you know, the Muslim Empire in East Africa, and just because I was just in East Africa, what the Muslim Empire, the Ottoman Empire, or the caliphates that went there did the exact same thing. You know what I'm saying? They took slaves into the Middle East, but the difference is that they castrated all of them.
Yeah, slavery wasn't unique to the Americas or the transatlantic slave trade. I think what made it so unique was the amount, the labor involved, and how it was infused with the economy, and then how it was written into law. Those few variables made it very, very unique. Whereas slavery was not unique to slavery is still going on, so it's not unique to the human condition, but it made it very unique to the people that settled here.
Yeah. It was really such a unique experience. I want to go back as soon as possible.
I bet it was dope, man. I actually have never been back.
Can you come?
Any part.
Can you come?
I can't, bro. I got responsibilities. I can't just go play football in Uganda, my nigga.
You don't have to play. You can literally show up for the game, ref. They'll just talk to the guys.
I think he's saying he can't go, not that he can't play.
Yeah.
No.
If you were to go, like if schedules line up, like would you play?
No.
Not even
but
a little bit?
just like show face. The guys would be like, "Holy shit, this is amazing."
I think it'd be great. And Billy, we tried to talk Arian into this last week. He's a pretty firm no on playing, but I think it'd be great if you showed up at some point in the future. I'm not saying this time because obviously you have stuff going on, but you helped to coach the team. I think that would rock.
Yeah, because guess what? Literally, the Ugandan team, I showed up, and they were using random plays from Madden, and we wrote a whole playbook together.
Bad. Madden got some real plays, bro.
Yeah, but they were random plays, and they didn't know how to run them. They didn't do the blocking schemes, so literally we had to install. First day, we did literally strong right, dive right, strong left, dive left, and just perfected it. And we just every play they ran was so amazing. I'm sorry to talk about so much about this team, but they literally.
So I know a person from Uganda as well, and he's kind of a viral sensation. You know the eat the poo poo guy?
Oh yeah.
Don't bring up the eat the poo-poo
No, I know
guy.
him.
You know him personally?
Yes, I know him personally. Martin Simpa is his name. I think 2 S's. Martin Simpa. So he's a preacher or a pastor from Uganda. Very homophobic guy, obviously, if you've seen the video.
Yeah.
Oh, they do not fuck with the gays.
No, they do
bro.
not.
No, they
They do
don't.
not fuck with the gays.
But yeah, so I worked at a nonprofit. So the guy, Will from Hard Factor, one of my best friends going back to like first grade or second grade, his parents worked at a charity that was providing AIDS relief to sub-Saharan Africa. And so I interned for them for a summer, and they brought Martin Simpa over from Uganda to talk about how Uganda was addressing AIDS. And I had no idea that this was the eat the poo poo guy. All I knew about this guy was that he was a preacher, and he was also a break dancer. He was like a national champion break dancer in Uganda. And he came over and he just talked about like using condoms and stuff, which was kind of weird. But yeah, I hung out with him for about a week in the summer of like 2004. Seemed like a normal guy. And then much later he goes back and I see the eat the poo poo video. I'm like, wow, this guy's a little bit nuts.
I haven't seen it. No.
Yeah.
Send it in the chat.
Is that
That's a baby.
new baby?
Oh,
hey.
New baby just dropped. Who this?
Oh my
Say hi.
god, I'm gonna die.
Say hi.
She's so cute. She has so much hair.
She's very
Yeah.
cute.
She's like 2 months or something like that.
Oh my god, she's perfect.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Nami Amara. She got the coldest name.
That is pretty good.
Oh,
Hey.
oh my god. No, I can't.
How we
I
doing?
love her.
Watch the
So I'm
YouTube to see Arian's very cute baby.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. So very. Oh shit. She just throws up on everything.
It's like Billy.
Dude, I literally, this is actually a funny story in my family. Real quick, I was sitting with my dad for like 2 hours, and then my dad gave me to my mom, and just within like 2 seconds, I just threw up all over my mom after sitting with my dad for 2 hours. And my mom was like, "What the fuck?"
I'm sure
Misogynist.
that wasn't the first time. Babies, that's all they do is eat, sleep, shit, and throw up.
Yeah, there's a lot.
This is actually, so I'm very experienced in the baby department. This is actually the best child I've ever been around at this age. She literally only cries when she's hungry. That's it.
That's awesome.
It's insane, and she smiles, she laughs, it's wild. It's actually wild.
She looks so focused.
Yeah. She's like,
It's
looks
the
like
first
a-
time she's seeing white people. No, I'm just joking.
Shout out.
Oh my God.
That was wild in Uganda.
Were you like an alien?
Billy relating everything that brings us to you guys. I love it though. I love it.
Well, I just came back, so
I'm
literally
with you.
I'd,
I'm with you. You're full of
I'd
love.
show up.
Man.
I'd
You're full of
show
love.
up to places, and they'd just be like, "Mzungu," and I'd be like,
Billy's like the kid who studied abroad, and now he's like, oh, when I was in Barcelona.
Yeah,
Like that's
for
Billy,
sure.
but in Uganda.
He's signing his emails with
Well-
cheers.
Yeah. Yeah. What did they say? Like how did they say bye in Uganda?
"Well, it depended on the tribe. There isn't that much consolidation of culture, which was very interesting to
So no
navigate.
universal bye down there?
And Swahili, but a lot of them wouldn't use Swahili.
There's a bunch of different languages there.
Yeah, no one
So
would
it's not
speak.
like
They'd all speak English around me because they thought that was the best thing to do, but they wouldn't speak Swahili or whatever tribal language they'd speak.
Imagine Billy just shows up knowing like fluent Swahili.
Be amazing. I love the nickname though. It's a great nickname.
The
Silverback
Silverback Mzungu,
Yeah.
What's the best food in Uganda?
Rolex.
What is that?
Rolex was the best. It's like it's kind of like grits. It's like grits and meat.
Love grits.
Yeah. But like it was very funny. We would just get like brought around, and they'd only take us to Middle Eastern restaurants because they thought that's all we could handle, like our stomachs.
Mm.
That was wild.
That is
We
wild.
were like pet Mzungus, just being
Oh,
they can only go here.
do you guys want to get into anything else before we start discussing the Amish? The good Amish people? The Pennsylvania Dutch? Anything? Going once, going twice. Oh, I'm getting back into beer officially.
Oh yeah, what's that
Oh.
about?
I've decided to start drinking beer again. So I'm back.
Dude, you need-
I'm back on.
I'm gonna do it again. Ugandan beer is amazing.
How cheap is it, Billy?
No hangovers. You literally can drink it all day, and there's no problems.
and you can still get on planes.
You could sneak.
There's
on
no
them.
problem, says the guy that was told if he had one more beer, he wouldn't be allowed to travel.
How many beers did you have?
Infinity?
No, real number.
No, I mean like we'd have like 5 beers after practice every day.
No.
There was a
Well,
picture
on
of you
the
with 4
plane.
beers in your hand on one time.
Oh, that was
That was different.
I was
Mad
being
Dog.
framed.
Yeah,
Sorry.
because
It's a setup.
you have to give back the bottles because you get money.
So you did
They
not
do-
have 4 beers in your hand.
Well, I had 10 beers, but it was from our whole trip from Monday to Wednesday back to Kampala. So like
How long is the flight?
It wasn't a flight. We were in a car for 18 hours,
No,
and
I'm
the best
saying, how
part
long is
is
the flight from? Was it New York to there?
so we went New York to Egypt to Entebbe. That was one of our plays, Entebbe. Guess what?
How long
was
was
an
the flight,
air raid
man?
offense.
Focus, man.
I'm forgetting. It was like
I was
14
Googling.
hours.
I was just Googling.
14 hours to Egypt.
man.
All right. Well, the point remains. I'm back in on beer.
Wait, yeah. So what got you back in on
I just
beer?
I had a couple beers on Monday night, and it was so good. And then I got home on Tuesday night, and I was like, you know what? I want to drink another cold beer. And I was out on beer for a while. I mean, I drank on a Friday or Saturday, I'll drink, a Coors Light here or there. But I'd switched over mostly to liquor. I guess beer fills me up sometimes if I have too many of them. For whatever reason, you like ebb and flow on your tastes and your desires when it comes to drinking. And I had that first beer last night. And I was like, this is it. Like, beer, I missed you. I hope you've missed me, but I'm back in, baby. I'm back in for the winter time. Nothing like some winter beers, especially when you put them outside and the beer gets cold when it's outside.
What you going to? What you go to?
Oh, Coors Light.
Okay.
I love a Coors Light. The mountains turn blue. But I love all beer. I don't really discriminate that much when it comes to my beers, but something about beers the last couple weeks have just been, I don't know if they changed them, if it's a new formula for beer.
Well, it's hibernation.
Yeah. You know what it is? Actually, it's probably I moved to the Midwest.
You need caloric intake for the winter.
I moved to the Midwest, and now I'm drinking beer. I'm eating hot dogs.
Well,
It feels good.
elections coming up. They might have, made the beer better so everybody starts drinking again, gets a little tipsy. Yeah, fuck it. We'll just stay with this guy, I guess. Could be.
That's a possibility. But yeah, I was texting with Dana Beers last night because I was just telling him, man, beers are so good. And I know that Dana was out on beer for a while. I think he had kind of the same issue I did, which is sometimes, you don't want to deal with getting full. You want to switch things up in life, but it's always back to beer for me. Beer's my first true love. And so I've decided that this winter it's beer season. If anybody wants to join me in beer season,
I'm down.
It's a big tent party, so come join us. The more, the merrier.
What is your favorite food to accompany a beer?
Buffalo wings.
Gotta be.
It's got to be buffalo wings. Nothing like buffalo wings and beer. Nachos and beer, also good. Tacos and beer, really, really good.
You're just naming foods, man.
I'm going to grab beer right now. Why are you doing this?
Billy, grab beer.
Yeah, go beer it up.
I might.
Get a beer,
I might.
Billy.
I have to walk to the corner.
For reference, it is 1:30 p.m. on a Wednesday.
Yeah. You know what I'm going to do when I get home from work today?
Beer.
What are you going to do, PFT?
I'm going to do beer.
Gotcha.
How many?
Oh,
Damn.
3? I'm going to do 3.
Too many
I'm gonna do
beers.
3 beers.
Will 3 beers do anything to you?
Yeah.
'Cause, I'm at,
Yeah, it'll make
Really?
you bloated.
I'm at
and
the
feel
point.
like
If
shit.
I drink 3 beers, I won't feel a fucking thing.
You're not lit. No, you got to put down like 10 beers. Then you're like, okay, now
Responsibly
we're rolling.
put down 10 beers. Yeah. I am I don't know if I can sit down and drink 10 beers anymore. And it's sad because I used to be able to. Like that was nothing.
That's crazy.
Billy's nodding his head like, you pussy, that'll never be me. Billy, it'll be you one day. It'll be you.
But this is
I'll-
why I never drank beers
I'll
in
be
the
in
first place.
Uganda.
Because this is why I never drank beers in the first place. Because every time I drink beer, it fills me up. Like I feel filled up so much, but I don't really ever get drunk like that. So I was like, this is pointless because I can't even stomach this shit like that. And then I don't really get drunk. So it was like, it was a waste to me.
I understand that, but sometimes you grow, you mature. Like I used to not be able to drink 2 beers. If I drank 2 beers, then I would want to drink 6 beers. Then I want to drink 8 beers. And it would be like, that's my evening is I'm going to drink beer. Now I've reached the point where I can have 2 beers, 3 beers. I get a small buzz off it. I feel good. And then I just go to sleep and it's great.
Drink a beer.
Drink a beer.
Well,
Drink another beer.
Drink another beer.
that's why. So like, the ideology behind drinking beer is that you're a father and you're like, hey son, only drink beer because you can't get too fucked up off it. You know what I'm
Is
saying?
that why we
Is
drink?
that
Is that why we drink beer? I don't know. I always
No,
thought I
like,
drank beer
'cause
because
it's like,
it tastes good.
Oh, if you drank 5 beers with 4% or 4 to 5% alcohol content, it was like, okay, like you'd be drinking, but you wouldn't be able to get that drunk. And it was like a pacifier of alcohol. And that's why you were steered towards beer as opposed to hard alcohol.
I don't know if that's necessarily the case for most
Is that fair?
listeners. I mean, I understand what you're saying that, yeah, you don't want to, if you're young, you don't want to start out, drinking just straight up liquor once you turn 21. That's when everybody starts drinking, by the way. But if you're not an experienced drinker, then yes, I would absolutely agree that don't sit down and drink, like 5 shots of whiskey to figure out if you like alcohol or not. But I guess it's probably a little bit safer. It's harder to drink so much beer that you get yourself in like alcohol poisoning area. But you can definitely drink.
Yeah.
Like you can drink beer until you get drunk for sure. Like I know. Like everybody does that.
I don't think anybody's ever gotten alcohol poisoning off of light beer.
I don't know.
I don't want to make that claim.
Yeah, I think they probably
I'm not
have.
gonna make that claim. I'm gonna
Not Billy though.
I'm
Billy's
gonna
built
knock on
different.
some wood. But it's gotta be impossible.
I don't know if it's
I don't think
impossible,
so.
but I do want to say that I love beer and beer's back. I sound like Brett Kavanaugh right now, actually. I like beer. Okay, I like drinking beer.
Dude, that EDM remix went so damn hard.
Yeah, but beer's good. That's all I'm saying is like I am here for beer winter. It's beer season. I'm gonna be drinking beer all winter. I have a feeling like it's gonna get me through this winter, where it's gonna be okay. It's Friday night. What are you going to do, PFT? Oh, I'm going to drink 3 to 5 beers, and I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it so much. The more I think about it, the more it is definitely like a Midwest thing. It gets cold. You know what it is? It gets dark so fucking early here now.
It's out of control. It's ruining my days.
It's ruining.
It's like 4:30, right?
Oh,
4:35.
yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Swag. Shit, it's ruining my golf shit. Because usually I'll be like, all right, I'll head over there around 2, get some, get a full round. It can't get a full round in because the sun's fucking setting.
It sucks.
It's unreal.
I had Blake at the dog park yesterday. It was 4:35 and the sun was down. And
PFT.
he thought it was nighttime. You're lying to my dog.
PFT, you're Midwest sober. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's it.
You're Midwest sober.
Yeah. I like that.
The darkness,
drinking
though,
beer.
is the trade we make for being in the best time zone, though.
That's true.
For sports, it's the best. That's the main thing, I guess.
Yes,
But
mostly sports, yeah. Sports, watching sports on TV.
right.
Yeah, it's great. It's absolutely fantastic for that. But yeah, shout out beer. And shout out Dana Beers because we all remember was that a summertime thing?
No, it was right before COVID.
That's right. Yeah, Zillion Beers. And then he
yeah.
had the wedding. Donnie and I went to his wedding
Right.
in Vegas, the Zillion Beers wedding.
Oh yeah, with
Yeah.
the Bills girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm in discussions right now with Dana Beers of reviving the Zillion Beers brand, Zillion Beers 2.0 Infinity Beers.
That was a huge thing for us in college.
Zillion Beers?
Yeah, that was like the peak of my college experience. Yeah.
Was Dana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a Zilly Beers shirt, like me. Yeah.
What do you think about Infinity Beers?
I like that.
To infinity and
You
beyond.
make
To
the
Infinity
shirt-
and Beyond.
You're on.
Oh, and you make the shirt and the infinity sign is just made up of beer cans.
I like that.
That's going to get C&D'd quickly, but I want one before it does.
Yeah, probably will. But just this isn't about merch. This is not about like selling stuff. This is about just me enjoying beer again, and it's a good feeling.
But if it was about merch, buy merch at the Barstool store so me and Mackenzie get a bonus.
Yeah, hypothetically, if it was about beer.
Hypothetically, though, if you wanted to.
But no, it's about the love of beer. So I'm in on beer season. Okay, so let's get into today's.
Real quick.
Yep.
Thanksgiving's coming, and so for every Thanksgiving, me and my little ones, we all dress in the same color, like pajama joints, right?
Like that.
So this year, peep this, dog. This year, what I did, bang. Can you see it?
Oh wow, that is
Is
awesome.
that Wu-Tang?
Yeah, dog.
Oh my god.
all Wu-Tang pajama joints. Whole fam gonna be dressed in it. I got like shit costs like $400, bro. I got like 8 of them for my moms and shit. So like it's gonna be fire, bro.
That's
Thanksgiving
amazing.
Pic's gonna be lit this year.
I love that. I love it whenever families get into the spirit together with each other like that. If you see a
It's
family
amazing.
like traveling to the airport and they're all wearing like the same jumpsuit or the same T-shirt, they're just going on vacation and they're wearing a T-shirt about their family vacation. I love that. Like
I love that.
It definitely
Or, like-
raises the energy.
Like Disneyland, Disney Park, shit like that. Everybody matching shirts. That shit's fire, dog. I love that type shit.
Yeah. I see a lot of like husbands and wives traveling in airports and they're wearing like the same jersey as each other with their own last name on it. It says like Mr. and Mrs. It is cool. I used to think that
Well,
type
that
of stuff was corny. Now it's like, I don't know. Did you guys ever think that was corny?
Yeah.
I think it's
Thought all
corny.
the shit. Yeah, so I used to be there too. Yeah, I thought it was corny as shit. But then it's like, but when you get a family and it becomes your life, like, and you not just, and your whole life doesn't revolve around getting faded every weekend and trying to chase pussy, like, it becomes like this like bonding thing where it's like, and I bet you the kids think it's corny, like, come on, fam, like, get out of here. But it's like, it's just one of the most, I don't know, endearing things when your family can share, and then you look back at it, you're like, that was dope, man. Like, you know, my family loves each other. Like, it's a dope thing.
Yeah, I like that.
You'll grow out of it, Billy. I promise you.
I might
'Cause
have.
I did.
I know I'm gonna be heading there. I'm gonna be in like
My man
New
said headed there
Balances.
like it's like you walking the plank or some shit.
No, I'm gonna be heading there. I'm gonna be in New Balances.
Hold on, you gotta dress like a fucking, you know what I mean?
No, I'm gonna
Male
be
Karen.
I'm gonna be a big time white dad. I'm gonna be
You can still have a little swag. Like I still wear Chucks and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all
my
good.
cankles. I'm gonna get cankles. I'm just gonna be like walking around talking about beer.
You fuck around
and
already
stuff.
got them. That slow ass run you was running.
Dude, I was so damn tired. Dude, that was only the Kenyan clips.
Boy, spat it up in Timberlands. That shit was horrible.
I was spatted up.
That shit weak. Hey, we flamed your ass in the film room, dog.
People forget I literally have a broken ankle.
Nah, I didn't forget, but shit, you put on film was on film, and that's all we got, dogs. That's all we got.
They didn't. There's no good film.
So, what was your best highlight that was not included in the Kenyan doctored footage?
I had a 45-yard run.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's not online. Donnie's got the footage. We had a lot of great highlights. Like it really sucks that just the officiating was just so terrible. Like literally, like I'm looking at it.
All right, man.
I'm looking at it.
You tooted that goddamn horn too much, man. Let it go, man.
No, I'm not tooting.
Got your ass whooped. It is what it is. You didn't adapt.
I'm tuning the guys' horn.
No, you didn't adapt. It is what it is. I'm tired of this. We let you talk your sob story. You got your ass whooped. You either rebound. Yeah. Or you always living in the what ifs.
No, we're coming back because guess what? We run, the team runs amazing. The offense runs amazing. The defense is firing on all cylinders. We go back. All I gotta do is get some American refs to Nairobi, and we're gonna win this game, no doubt.
I got some beef. I'm peed off about something, and it's about Thanksgiving. Arian reminded me. So for Thanksgiving this year, gonna have people over at my house, right? Families coming into town, not leaving Chicago. It's gonna be a fun time, celebration, get everyone together. I do 2 podcasts here at Barstool Sports. I do Macrodosing, which you're listening to right now. I do
the main one,
and then I do part of my take on the side.
What other bullshit?
And so I invited everybody who's on Macrodosing. If you're in Chicago and you're not going home for Thanksgiving, I invited everybody over to my house. If they wanted to come, if there are any Thanksgiving orphans. I did the same with Part of My Take. On Part of My Take, I believe Jake replied immediately and said, "Thanks for the invite, PFT. I'm going to be going back to hang out with family." It's more like, I understand that most people are probably leaving, but I want to put it out there. If you're in town, come on by. Nobody from Macrodosing even replied to my offer to come to my house after I opened up my doors to you guys. In fact, the only reply to said text was Arian just tweeting a picture of a woman kissing a dog and the dog licking its butthole. So that's the last. You guys have taught me a valuable lesson. Don't ever do anything nice.
To be fair, that was followed in rapid succession. Like it was so fast that you could not have responded to your text because it would have looked so out of place.
He changed it. He changed the subject immediately.
Yeah. Also, I kind of figured like, oh, that's very nice. I won't be here, but like I didn't know I needed to. If I were to go, obviously I would have said, wow, that's an incredible offer. Thank you. Like I would love to come. But I figured you didn't need a negative response.
I didn't need a negative. It maybe saying like, no, we're good. Like, no, we're traveling. That'd be fine. But instead, I got a dog butthole.
I'm traveling.
Okay.
I'm traveling.
Thanks,
but
though.
thank
I'm
you.
sure everybody's
Thank
traveling.
you.
I'm sure everyone was traveling, and that's the reason for it. But to get a dog butthole and nothing else in response was it took my breath away. I kept looking at my phone, being like, surely there will be a follow up to this from somebody.
You know what's crazy? I had totally forgot about that. The reason why I did it so fast because it was super fast.
Yeah,
I literally I saw that on my Twitter somewhere, somehow, some way. People tag me in funny dog shits all the time, and so it was some dude saying, and like I think the quote was like, "My dog's mouth is way cleaner than a human's." Like, right? And there's a picture of him licking his own ass, and so I literally had just copied that. I'm talking about as I'm copying it, your text appears. It's wild, and then I click the text, and I was like, "Oh, this is perfect."
It was 1 minute later.
yeah.
Shit, funny,
And then
man.
did multiple people reply to like Arian's picture, be like, "Great dog butthole picture, Arian."
There were just a couple likes. You liked it.
I didn't think it applied to me.
No, it did not.
Yeah.
You're not invited.
I think you guys
I
are
would
growing tired of my dog propaganda in the group.
Billy's not invited to Thanksgiving. You know what? None of you guys are. That'll show you.
I would have came.
I know, but you were invited.
Thanks
I
for
would have
reaching
been
out.
Midwest sober with you.
Yeah, I love that phrase, Billy. I'm gonna steal that. Midwest sober, baby.
That just means
I
only
asked
beer.
Only beer.
I asked everybody in my life, was it too soon to start celebrating Christmas? And just overwhelmingly, I was like, hell no. Like, do it up.
I don't like it. I feel like Thanksgiving is getting cucked.
That's a big a left wing. Do whatever you want. It's your
Yep.
Yeah, let's
There's a
forget the
time and a place.
traditions.
I would also wager on December 26th, I am depressed. Like, I am in a bad place on December 26th. I'm like, wow, the last 2 months, this is all I've been looking forward to. Now it's all gone. Got to go back to work. It's cold here. I mean, here it's going to be so much worse that you have nothing to look forward to for months. It's hell.
Mm-hmm.
I would wager that the people who are celebrating August, if you want to, December 26th, they're just fine.
I would agree with that. You really care about that shit.
Yes.
Yeah. In a way, the early Christmas celebrating stuff is kind of a war on Christmas
I agree.
because it makes it less special.
Yes.
Yeah. If you wait,
That spins on shit is
because if you wait until after, first of all, give Thanksgiving its proper due. Okay, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday in the world. I love Thanksgiving,
I agree.
and then you don't.
Thanksgiving is trash.
Yeah, I'm not.
No,
I don't
Thanksgiving is-
care about Thanksgiving at
No,
all. It's just it's
no,
only a matter of
no,
Christmas.
no, no,
Its
no.
origins are trash. Turkey is
No.
trash. It's
No.
just,
Arian, have
it's
you ever
just
read a textbook? Thanksgiving was about the Native Americans being like, "Thank you for being here. Here's how to survive. I brought a cornucopia, a horn of plenty, filled with gourds, squash."
Appreciate the smallpox, by the way.
pumpkins.
Here is some turkey.
Yeah,
It's
here-
about giving
I
thanks.
brought a
It
turkey,
makes
a bunch
me feel
of.
way.
I'm going to tell you what corn is, and then also you can kidnap our daughter, who's the princess, and then you can hang on to her. That's how thankful we are that you're here. Okay, and we don't celebrate that.
Dude, it's
Yeah, well-
it's about giving thanks. It's like that's what it's
I
about.
agree.
It's
Are you
just
gonna
being
cry again, bro? I
thankful.
feel like you're gonna cry again.
Dude. You guys have
You
no idea
emotional
how
as
hard I was.
shit.
trying.
Every day can be about
Shit,
giving
man.
thanks
Yeah,
if you
man.
want
When
it.
I'm okay with being emotional, but
when you
goddamn, Billy, it's been
invest-
about an hour and some change. You still crying, bro?
And I agree
No,
with
'cause
Billy.
dude,
Thanksgiving
when
is
you
a great.
invest,
Thanksgiving is a real holiday where you can sit down with people that you love, tell them that you love them, invite
I
your
did that shit
coworkers
every
that you
day.
love over,
So-
and they'll send you a picture
bro,
of a dog's butthole.
So, bro, the other day, I have a game night at the crib, right? Where it's like a bunch of adults. We have board games and drinks, and it's just a great time. Food, right? Great time. And you know, at the beginning of the game night, we all had a shot. And it was like, hey, everybody, like, just say what you're thankful for, man. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to wait till Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving itself is kind of ass. It's kind of trash. I've never met anybody who just like loves turkey. Like y'all like turkey like that?
Yeah, the way that I cook it, you like it.
Come on, cuz.
Oh,
You fry that
I
shit?
deep fry it. Yeah, I make a fucking great turkey. And
Everybody says that, and then I go try their turkey, and it's dry, and it's just,
Nope,
it's just turkey's.
well, no, it's not. It's not about
It's
turkey.
a
it's about
subpar
gravy.
protein. It just is
you would like
subpar
you would like
protein.
my turkey. I guarantee you.
I probably
It's
would.
not. It's not about turkey. Turkey is just a vehicle for gravy.
No, listen. The way that you're talking about turkey, you're telling on yourself that you've never had it cooked right. Because I agree that dry ass.
Cajun fried, deep fried turkeys. I've done it all, son. I've done it all.
I make a great turkey.
Speaking
It's
of
like how a
Cajun,
French fry.
Cajun turkeys, I saw Popeyes is doing turkeys
Yep.
now.
They've been doing turkeys.
Have they?
Yep.
I hadn't heard of it till this year.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I'd be
Turkey's
intrigued.
a subpar protein. I would be okay if we substituted turkey on Thanksgiving for brisket. That needs to happen.
Ooh.
Like who likes turkey more than brisket?
I like it if it's deep fried. Yeah, I do.
That's I don't believe you. If you had a nice juicy piece of brisket just sitting there mouth watering, and you had like whatever turkey that you love.
Yes, the best
I
brisket
guarantee
in the
you'll like
world
brisket more.
is better than the best turkey in the world. I will give you that.
No.
The worst brisket might be.
That's
No,
what I'm saying.
no.
That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
not was it Lincoln Riley that tweeted out his brisket?
Yeah.
Maybe not that,
Yeah.
but most.
That thing looked like it was cooked underneath the hood of a car. It was bad. It was like gray, dry, and he's like he was trying to show off on Twitter. It was a bad turkey. Or
Do you
bad
guys
brisket.
slice your turkey thin?
Sometimes.
The thinly sliced, and you get a really sharp knife.
You having sandwich meat for Thanksgiving?
Basically, yeah.
No, I
You having deli meat for Thanksgiving?
Aaron, I would deep fry turkey and you would like it. I promise. Especially the dark meat. The dark meat's the best part.
I bet it is.
You get a
I
you get
agree.
a nice juicy thigh.
Unfortunately, he responded to your invitation with a picture of a dog licking its ass.
Yeah,
So
so he won't. Be
I don't
there.
think he's really interested.
Whatever. You guys couldn't handle much. I actually got to go stock up on turkey frying supplies. I'm gonna go to Home Depot. I'm gonna do such like a 38-year-old dude Saturday. Go off to Home Depot, pick up some hardware, go back, drink 4 beers, sit on my couch. It's gonna be great.
Wait, how would you
Oh my
fry?
God, you're 38.
Yeah, I'm almost 39, Billy.
Whoa.
Would you ever
That's
deep fry
wild.
turkey in New York? No.
No. So
Right.
there's everyone is always like, oh well, you're gonna burn your house down if you fry a turkey. You have to be a fucking idiot to burn your house down. All right, because there's like 3 basic rules you got to follow. 1, you got to make sure the turkey is completely defrosted. So you got to take it out of the freezer. You got to do that like days in advance. Either put it in your fridge to let it slowly defrost, leave it out overnight, whatever the case may be. But you can't have any ice at all in the turkey, because if you deep fry a frozen turkey, it's going to explode. The water's going to interact with the hot oil, and it's going to create a fire. It's going to spill over and all sorts of shit. So that's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is don't do it inside. Pretty easy, right? Just don't do it inside your house, because if any oil spills over onto the flame, catches fire, your house is fucked, everything's gone. Rule number 3 is lower the turkey in super slowly and then watch the temperature as it's frying. So you have a thermometer, you have to be next to the turkey most of the time that it's in there, probably all the time actually. Watch it, make sure that the oil doesn't get too close to the top. If you put too much oil in the pot and you put the turkey in, then it's going to overflow and you got a fire on your hands again. So if you follow those 3 rules of lowering it slowly into the right amount of oil, defrosting it completely, and not doing it inside, you should be fine. That's it.
How
pretty
much
easy.
is the right amount of oil?
It depends on how big your turkey is.
Okay.
So,
let's
like,
talk ounces.
Water displacement,
Pounds?
right?
You got to leave room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You got to leave room for the volume of the bird before you put it in. But yeah, it's good shit. I can't wait to.
I've had fried turkey before. I've had Cajun fried turkey, bro. Like we're from Louisiana. My dad's friend growing up was from Louisiana, and he used to deep fry Cajun. So he used to like inject it with this Cajun seasoning.
Yeah.
So it was like spicy, and it was cool, but it's just like turkey's just it's alright. You know what I mean? It's alright.
All right. You're a hater. That's fine. You don't like Thanksgiving
See.
anyways.
That's crazy. I mean, I love being around my family. How about that? But I love Christmas though.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, Christmas has the whole exchange of presents and commercialism. I thought you'd be like, Thanksgiving is just about family and giving thanks for everything that you have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't fuck with. Well, see, I grew up poor, Billy. So, like, when I grew up poor and I grew up Muslim, so I didn't celebrate Christmas when I was younger. And even if we did celebrate Christmas, we couldn't afford gifts anyway. Like, I didn't ever really have a birthday party. So now that I'm able, I do that shit. I do that shit up. But I make sure, like, I do spoil my kids, but I make sure that they understand where I come from. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I give them gifts, but like they know like how I got here. And so there's a couple times a year I do spoil my kids, and goddamn it, fuck it. That's what I work for.
So when's your birthday, Arian?
August 24th.
All right, we're gonna do that big next year.
What we gonna do, okay?
We're gonna do something big next year.
Let's do it. Y'all come through. We'll do a
I'm
remote pod in Fiji. What's
I'm
happening?
gonna make a big deal.
Fiji.
big
Hell yeah.
Big deal out of Billy's. Like, hell yeah, that's that frat, right? That's gonna be sick.
Fiji.
Yeah, we'll make.
Fiji's got some great rugby players.
They do.
Teach me how to play
The
football.
Fijians are great at offloading when they get tackled and dumping the ball off. Incredible shit.
You know what? You're right, man. I'm 37 years old, bro. I've never had a birthday party. I'm gonna have a birthday party next year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna do it up big.
And y'all are coming.
Can we go to the club?
I'll help you.
Why I gotta go to the club? I ain't been to the club in 10 years.
I want to go to the club.
So
Get the
enthusiastic.
sign with the sparklers.
How about we go to a strip club? We can do that. You want to do a strip club?
I'm down for any club, brother.
Listen,
Bring the
Arian-
shorty. Bring a shorty. It'll be the after junk. Cause we're gonna throw a party, right? And then we going to the strip club. I'm gonna give you a band, Big T. Go crazy.
Hell yeah. Big
It's no
fans,
longer
that's
your
what they
party,
call me.
Arian.
Yeah. I want to see that motherfucker. Yeah. I want to see that.
Oh, this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I love
It's
this.
gonna be great.
I can't believe you haven't had a birthday party. So we're gonna change that. We're gonna do a big birthday party for Arian.
Let's do it. Yeah, no, I never had one.
PFT, are you gonna do a big birthday party like next year?
Oh, when I turn
your...
40? No,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like
Oh.
disappear into a darkness retreat and be depressed for a week when I turn 40. Although I've heard that when you turn 40, it's not that bad. I know when I turned 30, I spent the entire year I was 29 worrying about turning 30. I'm gonna be like, fuck, I'm an adult now. And then once I turned 30, I was like, oh, this isn't so bad. I'm 30, that's good. But I feel like 40 is a little bit scarier. 40 is official, like you're old.
But I think about it this way, like your 30s were probably the like most successful career or most successful decade of your
Oh
career.
yeah, I love my 30s. My
Right.
30s were awesome. Way better than my 20s.
So just think about how great your 40s are going to be.
That's true. Except here's the thing about getting older.
And now you're rich.
I am rich. Here's the thing about
It's nice to hear you admit it.
I was just saying that's the big T wouldn't argue with me. But the thing about turning older that I've realized, especially in the last 2 years, is that your body just collects injuries. So you don't, like when you're younger, you get hurt. And then like Billy, you go and you play in a football game like 2 weeks later and your body's fine. Now it's like every other week I do something to my body and I'm like, well, that's just going to hurt for the rest of my life. Oh, my rib hurts? Yeah, that's just going to be a pain I'm going to have to deal with. I woke up yesterday morning and my right foot was in like severe pain. Like I had broken my foot. I had no idea why. I think it's because I played basketball, like pick up basketball at the office for about 20 minutes. And I woke up in the morning, I was just like limping around my bedroom. And you just collect injuries and they never go away. And then you're just
So
like, oh, that's
hear-
something I'm not going to be able to use anymore.
I hear non-athletes talk about this a lot, and it always like I didn't really understand it, and now I kind of get it.
Yeah.
The reason why you collect injuries is because like because I figure like when I get like a certain age, I'll start to do that too. But this has been the most injury free I've been since I played football. Like I get no injuries anymore. But it's because a few things. I'm active, I work out, pretty regularly. And I eat relatively healthy. I think if you do those things, if you take care of the core of your body, you'll not randomly wake up with a hurt or something,
You're probably right.
I always say it's better to be sore from a workout than hurt from not working out. Does that make sense?
I agree. And I usually work out way more than I have been for the last like 6 months, but I guess I don't really have that much of an excuse. It's been
Matter of fact, this is for all my 35 plus people out there. And I'm saying it to you as a brother too, man. We are now at the age, because I say that all to my other brothers I have like in group chats and shit. I'm like, we are now at the age where the shit that you do matters. In your 20s, teens, this shit don't really matter. You can eat what you want, do what you want, is what it is. But now the shit that you do is going to start showing up with different health concerns. Like it's happening. So like you have to be a little bit more cognizant about what you put in your body and the diet that you consume and the mental diet that you consume, because it's starting to show. It's starting to show up. So that's my soliloquy to my 30-plus-year-old people out there.
okay. For every 3 beers that I drink, I will eat 1 salad.
Yeah, but the salad can't be like drenched full of ranch.
Got it. Yep. Like Italian, something light.
I don't do any dressing on my salad.
Yeah, sometimes I am able to just take a salad and, I don't know, squirt like some lemon juice on it and just look at it like medicine.
Yeah.
What does that look, Billy? What does that look?
Well,
Billy's got a little smirk on his face. What's the smirk about?
No, I'm just saying. I just overcame a serious ankle fracture. It's not as bad as I originally thought, but literally BPC 157. Just look up peptides, and you heal in a little 2 days.
Billy did cure my arm, so thank you for that, Billy.
Literally, I have a fractured ankle, and I was able to play a full-ass football game on it.
All right, we're going to get healthy, and I'm going to drink beer at the same time. It's going to be great. Okay, let's get into some Amish talk. Amish talk. It's brought to you by Straight Talk. A new Straight Talk wireless offering is now available where you can get a Walmart Plus membership included on select Straight Talk wireless plans for free. That's right, you get Walmart Plus included on your Straight Talk wireless plan for free. Only Straight Talk Wireless gives you unlimited data. Is it data? Unlimited data, talk, and text. Plus, you get the Walmart Plus membership on select plans. Some of the perks of Walmart Plus, well, they include free delivery from Walmart stores. You get free shipping, no order minimum. That's great. You get Paramount Plus membership. And you get member prices on fuel. With gas prices, what they are, that's going to be some significant savings. Paramount Plus, that's money in your pocket. And you get free shipping and free delivery from Walmart stores. That's incredibly convenient, and you can get it at Straight Talk Wireless. It's available at Walmart and walmart.com. If you're looking to get a Straight Talk Wireless plan, now is the time, because you get this Walmart Plus membership included for free when you get it. And again, with that, you get free delivery, free shipping, no order minimum, Paramount Plus, and member prices on fuel with mega gas savings. Check it out, Straight Talk Wireless. Go to Walmart or online at walmart.com. All right, let's get into the Amish, the Pennsylvania Dutch, the Amish and the Mennonites. Now, we talked about doing this with an Amish person on the show about, 2 months ago? Amish don't really listen to podcasts. Would you be, if you're an Amish person, are you allowed to speak into a microphone? Are you allowed to use that technology?
I wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't think so either. But if somebody goes to like an Amish community, they can take pictures of you. And they can.
I read that they can't be photographed.
They don't like it. But I don't think
they wouldn't choose to, at least.
They wouldn't choose to, yeah.
Well, we thought we were going to be able to get a former Amish guy who's big on TikTok. He's the most booked guest we've ever tried to get.
Yeah.
This was like a month ago. He was like, yeah, I can get back to you at like 8 p.m. It was the night before Thanksgiving. I think he said he could do it at like 8 o'clock.
Yeah, it was Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, we're not going to be here. I guess you guys all have other plans, so you can't even do a podcast. But yeah, that's unfortunate. Have you guys ever met an Amish person?
I have not.
Jeff Nadeau.
He's Amish?
No, he's just from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and he gets mad when you say that.
Okay, got it. He broke some news the other day. You see that?
No.
About Jalen Carter?
No.
I don't know if
what did he break?
I don't know if it's been confirmed or not, but he said that Jalen Carter got detained by police at Center City because he was there with a girl, and the girl was going through the self-checkout lane, and apparently she didn't pay for everything. And then Jalen Carter got mouthy with the police and got detained, and the police called the Eagles, and then they let him go. I don't know if that's how due process works, where like you detain somebody and you're like, hey, I'm going to call your boss. And then you talk to their boss and they're like, okay, you can go now. I don't know if it's been confirmed or not. My guess is it probably hasn't.
I'd guess not.
Yeah, I would guess not too. So that what I just said, that was from Jeff Nadeau, and take it with like a giant grain of salt.
I'm on his Twitter right now. He's also claiming that the story of Kelly Oubre getting hit by a car didn't happen.
Okay. Interesting. But yeah, the Amish and the Mennonites. So I know Billy was really excited to dive into the subject. So I kind of want to give Billy the floor here and see what he thinks about the Amish.
Fun fact about the Amish, they think everyone who isn't Amish is English.
Yeah. Yeah. So
very weird.
They call, it's not like they think that you're from England. It's what they use to refer. So if I was an Amish person, I'm in the room with Big T, I'd be like, what are you looking at online? English? You know, because they're Dutch and everybody else is English.
So is that like a slur?
I think they don't say that it's a slur, but it's definitely like, oh, look at these English coming down the street.
Or they call you Yankees.
Yeah.
It's weird because their language, technically English isn't really the language they use that most comfortably. It's Low German. So the linguistic profile of the Amish is Low German, and it doesn't sound anything like German. It sounds more almost Spanish, or they call it Pennsylvanian Dutch. Mm-hmm. And it's very interesting. And they say it's more similar to Portuguese.
Interesting. So they're in the United States, they're primarily located in Western Pennsylvania. There's also a number of Amish people in Canada and in Mexico, as well as a few overseas here and there. But it's mostly an American thing. I think there are 300,000 Amish people. And so you grow up in these communities, and they shun electricity. They don't let you use modern technology. And then what's kind of cool is they send you off on Rumspringa, which is basically, how long do you get for Rumspringa now?
Is it 2 years? Oh, it's that short?
I thought it was 2 years, yeah.
I always heard 2 years as well.
Yeah, let's fact check that, Billy. Jamie, pull that up. So you get to go experience the real world, or the outside world would be a better way to put it. So you leave your community, you go, you drink, you party, you learn about technology, you get to exist as everybody outside the walls do. And then you have to make a decision for yourself whether or not to return or whether or not to stay in the outside world. Now, if you stay in the outside world, you get shunned by everybody. So it's essentially giving up your family, giving up your friends, your community. You aren't allowed to contact them. They don't want anything to do with you because you've abandoned them. So 90% of Amish that go on Rumspringa end up returning to the Amish community.
That's a pretty good percentage.
Yeah.
Imagine how hard you'd be partying if you knew this was the 2 years ever that you can do. Not just party, do like any cool shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be great. Like you would go so hard.
You've got 24 months.
It's
It says it's a matter of personal choice, but most it's about 2 years.
It's the longest bachelor party ever, or bachelorette party.
Yeah.
You just basically go hard. And then, yeah, you have to, I guess giving up the family is the tough part.
What's the first thing you'd do if you were Amish? You hadn't been able to do any cool stuff your whole life. And now you're out in the world.
Drugs.
Red zone. Imagine taking an Amish person, sitting them down on NFL Sunday for the first time. Do you think they'd like it?
Their sport of choice is volleyball or slow pitch softball. Those are their two favorite recreational sports. It may differ amongst communities, but they have like a huge slow pitch softball tournament in Pennsylvania and volleyball.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because it's the easiest
for everybody
to sort of set up and play.
And you don't require, like, the equipment that you would wear for those or use wouldn't require zippers or anything else that's like super fancy.
They don't use zippers?
I think some of them don't use zippers. Yeah.
I couldn't find there's like so much discrepancy on what they can and can't do. And there's like a spectrum. There's people who are super traditional and there are people who are modern, who like have headlights and shit. And then there are people who just still ride horses and buggies and shit. So I couldn't really find, there's like no, I guess this is like the Bible, right? There's different sects because everybody interprets the rules differently.
Then there's Amish beds, which they swear it doesn't actually exist, but there's a bunch of like Amish beds with a board in between the bed so that the men and the women can't lay together.
Now that's kind of true, because what they do when you start dating, if you're an Amish person, I've heard and read that you do like sleepovers with your person. And so you're not allowed to have premarital sex, but what they'll do is they'll put you in the same bed and then put that, like Billy said, the giant board in between you and the other person. So you can't get past the board. I'm sure that's I see a couple flaws in the design where you could just like get out of bed and go to the other side. And then other times they have special like sleeping bags that you guys both sleep in, where they sew you up together like in a cocoon with the person. You just basically cuddle all night, which I don't know if that's realistic to expect two people of dating age to just like cuddle with each other and there's no hand stuff going on, at least. But yeah, they do sleepover parties. There's old order and new order Amish, and they have, Arian's right, they have different rules. The women aren't allowed to cut their hair, and they wear bonnets when they're out in public. Married women wear black bonnets. Unmarried women wear white bonnets. That's kind of sinister, isn't it? It's like if you wear a black bonnet, it's like, okay, down to party.
Several cultures do stuff like that. Like the Indian women wear I believe they're called bindis, the things on their forehead, and like the different colors are like for single, married, and stuff like that.
Yeah, and in Hawaii, when you put the what kind of flower is that? Hibiscus flower? When you put that behind your ear, I forget which side it is. One side means single, one side means taken. I guess we do that here with like wedding rings and stuff. But Amish men, they grow their beard when they get married. And it's a big thing. Like if you shave it's disgraceful to shave your beard. There was one dude, I think he was charged with a hate crime. I forget.
Yeah, the Burgals brothers.
What happened with that person?
This was one of the craziest Amish stories that I've heard. Apparently, there were 16 Bergholz barbers who were from Bergholz, Ohio, and they would literally in the middle of the night hunt down older, often elderly men and shave their beards. Well, it's 2 or 3 people would hold down the victims who are often elderly, while another person used battery-powered clippers or scissors to shear the victims' beards or hair. When they were done, they would take pictures. So it was a religious disagreement. Often the perpetrators were the sons or daughters or in-laws of the victims, where they literally run up on them and shave their beards.
Yo, that's a different level. That's a different level of evil, dog. Like, that shit's crazy. Like, you want to shave a nigga beard while he's sleeping? That's actually insane.
It is, because you have to plan out this super crime. Like, you're basically doing a heist, and you have to plan ahead. Like, rent a car, put on like all black outfits, put gloves on, like you're sneaking in to like kidnap somebody, and you're putting all this planning in just to go in there and shave their beards because you know that they're gonna hate that. Like, that's pretty fucked up.
That shit's wild. I mean, I kind of feel them though. I was thinking about this the other day. How many people you know in your life that you like you just trust wholeheartedly that shave their face? Is that a lot?
Like clean shaven?
Yeah, I don't really trust people that shave their face, man.
Like every day?
Yeah, it's weird.
So that's
Big T in my relationship has exponentially grown since he grew his beard.
That's probably true.
I'm not saying it has anything to do with that. I'm just saying it's something I've noticed.
And I was actually thinking, I saw a clip recently of this guy. He's one of these, TikTok hustlers that we've talked about before. He was talking about why he's always clean shaven, and he's like, go find me a U.S. president that had a beard. He's like, everyone you've ever seen that's successful, clean shaven. And I was like, well, and he's, mentioned politicians and entrepreneurs and all these people. And most of the people he was mentioning, I was like, those people have like extremely low public approval ratings. Like he was like Elon Musk and all these different people. And it's like, most people don't like those guys.
George W. Bush. Clean shave. Well, okay.
He was really high at one point.
Yeah, that's true.
But then look what he did, though.
It went down.
Also, if you look at U.S. presidents, like when you said that, I was like a bunch of them had beards.
I think some
Abraham Lincoln,
long time ago.
Abraham Lincoln, Ulysses S. Grant.
I think he was talking like pretty close to current times.
Who's the most recent president that had
none
facial
of them
hair?
Because they tell you
Taft?
to shave your beard because it
been a long
it
time.
supposedly gives you more, prestige. But like it to me, when you shave your beard, you trying to look, you're attempting to be like a good, you know what I mean? So where if you have a beard, you're like, fuck it, I am who I am.
Taft and Roosevelt are the last ones, at least in their like official portraits, that have facial hair.
It says that Harry Truman had facial hair as well.
Oh, did he have like a tiny little mustache? He seems like a tiny mustache guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tiny
That's
mustache.
gross.
Oh my
your
God.
mustache kind of.
Dude, you know what's
From the
insane?
detective in the 20 side.
What? Who's?
Yours?
I don't have a mustache right now.
You don't have any mustache?
No, I shaved it because the problem with my mustache is
Makes sense.
it grows at the same length, but the hairs on the outside are blonde and the hairs on the inside are dark. And
This
so
is my point.
See, mine's the
even
This is
exact
exactly
opposite.
my point.
so even when I grow
exactly my
no, but
point.
so even when I grow it out, it looks like Hitler.
This is exactly my point,
Dude.
though. You're trying to hide who you are.
I'm not.
Hitler?
I would.
Let it come out, brother. I don't say Hitler.
I don't want to be walking around looking like Dolph.
Let's do a no shave November. Half no shave November. It's 15.
Am I young Dolph?
Come on, man.
But Arian,
R.I.P.
100 shots.
Arian, this is a week of not shaving, and this isn't going to look good if I let it grow out.
You need to let it grow out. 'Cause
Billy,
you look
I was
weird as
you
shit
at
when
one
shave your
point,
face, too.
and then you just have to power through.
And then look at Big T now. He's fucking glowing.
He
bro.
is. Yeah, he blew up big. You know, Hitler really did ruin facial hair.
Yeah, dude, freaking in Egypt, there was tons of dudes with Hitler stashes, like old dudes. And I was like, what the fuck? Because apparently they just like, it's not like culturally relevant where they're like, we're going to stop doing this type of mustache.
Do you think that has anything to do with any international conflicts that are going on right now?
Maybe.
Come on, guys. No.
No, dude, talk to Michelangelo. we were on the plane to Egypt, and this dude behind Michelangelo started freaking out. Michelangelo got woken up by this angry old dude who like he reclined his seat on, and he literally just like had the straight up the stash.
That was a wild
And-
stash to begin with.
Well, apparently it was popular.
Yeah, Charlie Chaplin had one.
Yeah. So there was a lot of
You could just do that. There's your out. I'm doing Charlie Chaplin. I'm not doing Hitler.
You know what?
You
You know what
can't
sounds
do
like a
that
really great
anymore.
Get your
time.
mind out of the gutter.
You know what sounds like a really good time, Arian, is to walk around all day explaining to people, actually, this isn't a Hitler stash.
Get a Charlie Chaplin shirt.
Michael Jordan, low key.
Yeah. People forget Michael Jordan had the Hitler stash in his Hanes commercial.
He's honestly the only person who probably could rock the stash.
Look it up. Send it. Drop it in the group chat. Jamie, put this up on the board. Yeah, he was doing a Hanes commercial. I think it was him and Charlie Sheen on an airplane. And Michael Jordan had a Hitler stash.
It is a little too, a little not wide enough.
And then nobody
That
said
is
anything about it because it's Michael
Weak
Jordan.
though. Why he do that?
It was a Charlie Chaplin stash, Aaron. Get your mind out of the gutter.
That's true. You're right. That's my fault. That is my fault. But see, then you look at this is why you look at his Dream Team days. He had a goatee. That's the Mike I know and love.
Yeah.
Like when you shave your face, it's just whack, bro. Let it grow. Let that shit grow.
Yes.
I will never have like no facial hair for the rest of my life.
See, change Big T's life, and I'm 100% on board with this shit.
They take that very seriously in the Amish community. Don't shave another man's beard. Don't shave your own beard once you're married. There's a funny story. We can get back to like more of the Amish do's and don'ts. So there was a story out of Lawrence County, Tennessee, which Big T you said was where?
Like I think it's real southern Tennessee, like near Alabama.
Okay, so there's a guy named Chris Appleby, and he migrated to the Amish community for about 7 years. And he said he wanted to live a slower pace of life. He wanted to get off the grid a little bit. And he just kind of hung out. He kind of blended in a little bit, but his neighbors didn't really like completely trust him. So some of his neighbors complained about this guy, Chris Appleby. They complained to the police that this guy's like having lights on in his house. He's like violating the rules, acting very, very shady. The cops go to the house, observe it. They get a search warrant. They go inside, and he had about 25 pounds of weed that he was growing. And he was just running a huge grow op in the middle of the Amish community that they caught him on. And I think a lot of Amish grow hemp, but this guy was just straight up like producing massive amounts of weed and trying to lay low amongst the Amish, thinking like, oh, what are they going to do? Call the cops? They don't have phones, which it seems like a good plan in theory until your neighbors turn on you. He also had over a dozen firearms, and he like filed all the serial numbers off the gun. So this guy was rolling like a serious operation in the middle of the Amish community, and they were really pissed off about him. But yeah, I don't know how houses inside of an Amish community would be wired to get enough electricity to like maintain a grow operation, unless maybe you had a generator.
Well, no, generators are legal. Batteries and generators are allowed.
Oh, so you can have a battery?
Yeah.
I think that's also contingent on the sect though too, because there are people who don't do generators and they still light the houses with like candles and shit.
Craziest thing is barn raising. That's wild.
Talk to me about raising barns, Billy.
Just a bunch of dudes. They lift up a barn, and it's just all manpower.
Yeah.
They literally just like build a barn on the ground and flip it up.
What do you guys think about their rules about baptisms? Because I thought those were kind of interesting. So they don't believe in baptizing you at birth because you can't make up your mind from when you're born. Like a baby has never been like, I dedicate my life to Jesus Christ.
I've always kind of thought that as well.
Yeah. You're kind of like, you're making your decisions for your baby.
I get why people do it.
Nah, snip that shit, bro. I'm with. I think it's like anything else. It's a health decision. It's exponentially more healthy
Are you mixing up circumcisions with baptisms?
I was like, what?
Snip that shit.
I was
like,
deaf.
I
My
don't
daughter
think
was
that's
texting me
part
something,
of
and I
it.
might have missed. What did you say, bro?
Baptism.
Oh, I don't think it matters. You just dunking a nigga in water. My fault. My bad, dog. I definitely heard circumcision. I don't know how that came up.
You can get circumcised when you're older too. That's a thing.
I don't
Oh,
advise.
I mean,
That's
who
No,
the
but
hell is
that's
doing
that.
that?
Apparently, it's terrible.
Biz wanted to do it. Biz made a bet. I forget what it was. Something to do with the Maple Leafs. And he was like, if they don't make the playoffs or if they don't win a first round playoff series this year, I'm going to get circumcised.
Like
'Cause
it
he's
is
never been snipped.
It is weird that like that's kind of the default, but
Yeah.
the thinking of doing that like as an adult is horrifying.
Yes, very. But he consulted with a doctor and they were like, hey, there's actually some health issues that could arise if you do this at this age. And so he ended up not following through on that bet.
Yeah, that's
That's a cop out.
Yeah, I guess.
That guy would-
I mean,
He just wanted to keep his hat.
As far as cop outs go, saying I don't want my penis to be fucked up for the rest of my life is a pretty strong argument, I think.
Yeah, because like, what if you botch that?
Yeah.
Dude, there's a terrifying story about a dude who had it botched at birth, and they tried to transition him to just like, it's a wild story. Basically, the doctors fucked up so bad, they're like, we're going to try to make this dude a woman and never tell him that he was a man
Yeah.
at first.
We studied that in our college psychology class.
Yeah, and then the kid was just like, when he found out the truth, he was just like, what the fuck? And I think he ended up doing some himself in.
Yeah, I mean
Unfortunately.
that's a bad situation to get into. But for baptisms, I heard Mad Dog object to this, but like a baby is not like, yeah, I love Jesus. I'm a Christian.
I mean, I got baptized when I was like 3 months old, or whenever you do it when you're Catholic.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I would have gotten baptized. Like, I think a lot of other like Christian religions, if they don't do it at birth, they do it at like 7 or 8 years old or something. Like when I got like my first communion, I feel like even at 7 or 8, though, I'm still not really like fully in tune to what religion is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I could really like comply then either. I mean, I guess I did, but like.
Well, that's why the Amish, they wait till I think they're like 20 or 21.
Oh, that's different then. I thought it was like 10.
No, you
After Rumspringa.
Yeah, after Rumspringa, you make your own
Oh.
decision.
So it's like you win on Rumspringa, you're like ready to commit. Oh,
Yeah.
see, that's a whole different
You
thing.
get it out of your system.
Yeah. Oh, okay. See, now I kind of like that, I think.
Do you think if you're on Rumspringa, like some people take it too far and they're like, whatever I do on Rumspringa doesn't actually count?
Like God doesn't see it?
Yeah.
I mean, probably.
Well, remember Sandra Bullock's the mistress of her wife, of her husband.
No.
What?
Do you remember this? Sandra Bullock's husband, Jesse James,
Jesse James.
got caught cheating with a Nazi
Yeah.
Amish person who was on Rumspringa and literally was just like, I'm on Rumspringa. I could be a Nazi.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, dude. Look it up.
I thought he was with Kat Von D.
If you take the opportunity, if you look at Rumspringa as an opportunity to become a Nazi without any retribution for it, you're just a Nazi to begin with.
You're just a bad person.
Yeah.
I think it also probably, again, I don't really know too much about what they think about what they do on Rumspringa, but I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, if you really want to rebel and like go really hard on your Rumspringa, maybe you just shouldn't go back to being Amish.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, if you enjoy it a little bit too much.
Right. You go too hard.
There's some drug use amongst the Amish. There was a case back, I forget, this was 1998, I think. The Washington Post reported this, that federal prosecutors in Pennsylvania yesterday accused 2 Amish men of buying cocaine from a gang called the Pagan Motorcycle Club and distributing the drug to other young members of the religious group at parties known as hoedowns. So they have a hoedown where they get all coked up amongst the Amish and just have a great time. Which actually, I would kind of like to go to a hoedown.
That's the craziest loophole ever. No electricity, but cocaine.
Yeah, that's they call that Lancaster sober. What are some of the other rules that you guys have seen about the Amish?
So some guys are allowed to use cell phones, but not in the house or in the workplace. But if you're outside, you can have your phone on you.
Now,
And then
if you were to basically the Amish community was started by people that were like, we don't like how society has progressed. It's all kind of tied into the Puritan church. Like the Pilgrims were kind of like Amish light in a way. They, over in England, the Puritans, they didn't like any of the fancy stuff that was going on with the church. They didn't like the gold, the idols. They didn't like people getting dressed up in regalia, all that stuff. And they wanted a more plain type of existence. People that just kind of want history to stop. Do you think that there will be a group that start like in the last 20 years where we say, okay, society has progressed enough. We're just not going to use anything else that comes out. Like people that don't want to use AI in the future.
yeah,
Are they going to be the new Amish?
yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm down for that. I'm down for starting a new wave of Amish where it's like, let's just stay in 2023. No, 2021. 2019. That's what I want to do. Let's stay in 2019. That's when I think society hit its peak. Everything was great. Not everything was great, but there were a lot of things that were great in 2019. Not everybody had a podcast, which was wonderful. So less competition for me personally. It was good. Life was good. I would join a community that was just like the 2019 version of the Amish.
Who's in charge?
Donald J. Trump.
Speaking of him, you know what their big holiday is?
No.
January 6th.
Is it really?
It's like, so you know the song The 12 Days of Christmas?
Yeah.
That comes from old traditions where they celebrated January 6th, 12 days after Christmas, which was supposed to replicate the 12 days that the wise men journeyed to visit Jesus. And so that's like their Christmas is January 6th.
I love that. They're going to have like big get-togethers and stuff every January 6th.
Yep.
Billy, you might be part Amish.
Is that All Kings Day? I think technically that's also All Kings Day, which is supposed to be like the three kings coming to give the presents.
I think
Because
that's like the day or two after.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
All Kings Day, they do it a lot in South America where like the kings didn't come at Christ's birth. They came later.
I did notice that there were no Amish people at the Capitol that day.
True.
They all stayed home. I wonder why.
Also, they don't participate in Social Security.
Oh, really?
They pay taxes.
They have their own like form of it. I don't know if y'all came across that, but like they have their own form of like putting money in a pot for people who like need healthcare and stuff like that in their own communities. It's like their own version of like taxation. So like if somebody gets sick, like they go to the church and the church like pays for it, but then everybody kind of like gives to it because they know one day they're gonna need it as well. It's pretty dope, actually.
That is cool that they look after each other like that.
You'd think it's the Christ-like thing to do, but fuck that shit though. Give me my money that I earn, right?
Yeah, for sure. I found a Reddit thread about like, I think it says Amish people of Reddit. What are you doing here? Why are you on Reddit? One guy replied like, yeah, I'm at the bowling alley right now. I sneak away a few games every once in a while. It helps me relax to go to the bowling alley and to hop on Reddit. I need it because our farm is facing money problems. We have to figure out a way to raise $500,000 to pay off the bank. I don't know how like bowling once every 2 weeks helps with that. I have an idea for a video game though. Amish Simulator.
I mean, that's basically just farming simulator.
It's
fun.
Yeah, it's farming simulator, but it's the next level where you earn like humble points.
Okay.
The more humble you are, the more you like deflect and are just like very, very polite to people. You earn bonuses.
Actually, it's kind of not like farming simulator because farming simulator you can keep earning sicker and sicker like
Tractors.
Yeah.
It's the opposite actually.
You
You start
can't
with a
use
tractor
tractors.
and then you do really good and you get rewarded, and now you've got like a horse and a plow.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be sick. I would play Amish Simulator for sure. Which I guess it's the real trick is if you're playing Amish Simulator, you lose because it's a video game. The only way to win is by not playing.
Have you guys been looking at Amish TikTok?
I have not. No, tell me about Amish TikTok, Billy.
Well, you get a little sneak peek at some of these hoedowns, and some of these younger Amish people, probably before they go in Rumspringa, are having these parties on TikTok, and they're having a great time. So if you want to see something very entertaining, check out Amish hoedowns on TikTok. It's very sort of similar to prison TikTok, just because you have a group of people who aren't supposed to have technology using it, and they also aren't to the times with what's current.
Mm-hmm.
So they're either doing trends that aren't exactly done the right way, or they're doing their own trends that are almost like 10 years in the past. It's very hilarious.
I would love it if there was like an Amish guy on TikTok that was giving out gambling picks. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Definitely an Iowa Hawkeyes fan.
Did we get to the bottom of that that prisoner giving gambling picks?
I don't think we got to the bottom of it. No.
I think I might know.
Do they play sports in Amish communities?
Good question, Mad Dog. They play volleyball and slow pitch softball.
Oh, right. We said that already.
Huge tournaments.
I feel like they would be big on baseball.
Yeah, baseball is not too far off. They could do baseball. I don't think they could do football. There's too many buckles, too much equipment.
How funny would it be if
violent. They
there
are
was an Amish
pacifists.
pitcher?
They don't have to. Yeah, Billy?
If Justin Verlander, like big beard, like some AAA team just brought up some dude and it's like, this is our Amish pitcher, and he's just a freak.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Just country strong.
Abraham Lincoln looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
Just throwing freaking heat.
Yeah, I would love that. Arian, what did you learn about Amish people?
I watched this documentary mainly, but I get lost in the weeds when I research shit like this because there's so many different sects and sects. And I think the main thing I learned was like it's low key the way to go if you're really serious about your religiosity, right? So like I take the Amish seriously more than I do like the modern day Christian or the modern day Catholic or whatever. Because the shit that they say in the Bible, they actually try to do. Whereas it's very extreme, right? We don't live like that anymore. So, but they're like, this is what the Lord wants. This is what it is. And so from my vantage point, they're the most about it of any kind of Christian that I've come across. They with the shits.
I agree with that.
And I honor that.
They stand on their convictions.
Yeah, they stand on business.
Yeah, there were actually so they are pacifists. They don't have to fight in wars. But there have been a couple Amish people that have been drafted. Like back in World War II, I think. They drafted some Amish people, and it was like that movie Hacksaw Ridge, where the guy, I don't know if he was Mennonite or if he was Quaker, I forget. I probably should know. But they serve just in non-combat duties. So they can serve as, I guess, a battlefield medic, or they can be out there without a gun and just like drag people to safety afterwards. But they can't do anything. You can't like buy war bonds even. You can't do anything that contributes to the cause of killing somebody else, which that I think that's pretty cool.
That's amazing. I'm with that.
Yeah, Billy, what else you got on the Amish?
There's been a lot of Amish crimes. So.
Oh yeah, now we're getting into it.
So yeah, we should set the table and say that Billy. Billy's got some wild takes about the Amish. I personally, I have no problem. I have no quarrel with the Amish or the Mennonites. I think live and let live. If they're not bothering anybody else, good for them. Just in general about the community, I think positively about them. Now, what Billy's about to bring up is probably a few bad apples, so we can talk about those bad apples. There are bad apples in every religion, Billy.
There is an Amish mafia.
Okay.
And because of how insular the community is, there tends to be many crimes that go unreported because Amish don't want to snitch on other Amishmen. But some of these crimes include the garish color deniers. So on some of the pictures of the Amish driving carriages, you'll see that there is a triangular orange reflector that allows cars driving behind them to see the Amish drawn carts.
Yep.
So apparently these guys took huge homage to the color in the bright coloring because it's against their religion.
They took umbrage.
Yes, umbrage.
Do you take
And
umbrage
then-
often, Billy?
I do a little umbrage.
When was the last time you took umbrage?
I took a lot of umbrage on Sunday.
Yeah?
Yeah,
With what?
in a different context.
Oh, with the referees.
Yes, I was the biggest of bridge.
You overdosed on
And,
umbrage.
Yeah. So they were like, we don't want to put orange on our carts, and we're never going to do it. So they arrested these guys, and then they were like, we're not going to put on the orange prison jumpsuits either because they're also orange, and they just straight up got gray colored jumpsuits, and that was what they were allowed. But they still had to put orange on their carts.
I'm reading about this other case where there was an Amish drug bust. This dude, he was named Moses Mast, and he was in Western Michigan. And he moved up there in 2012. And then in October 2014, he was about halfway completed with a harvest of marijuana, and the cops showed up. And this dude had 780 pounds of harvested marijuana. And then in his cornfield, he had 860 plants that were growing the corn. 780 pounds is so much fucking weed. That's a crazy amount of weed. Didn't Nate Newton, he got busted with I think 200 pounds
Who's that?
for the Cowboys?
Never heard of this guy.
You never heard of Nate Newton?
No.
Oh, buddy.
Oh,
Nate
yeah.
Nate Newton, I'm going to look up his drug busts here because they're all time. So he was on the Cowboys, started there in 1986, and they called him the Kitchen because he was bigger than the fridge. He was like the biggest dude in the NFL. And then he stayed there at least until 1998. So let me see. Wait, Nate Newton drugs.
Now is wet weed is heavier than dry weed.
Yes, yeah, it would be.
So because it's so close to the source, and these guys might have not been drying their weed out, could these numbers be pumped up?
They might be. They might be artificially inflated. But okay, so here are the stats on Nate Newton. Former Dallas Cowboys lineman Nate Newton was arrested Wednesday on charges of carrying at least 175 pounds of marijuana. His second such arrest in 6 weeks. Newton was facing a federal charge of possession with intent to distribute. I wish he pulled out the it's for personal use defense on that one. He's like, yeah, I just fucking love weed. So on November 4th, he was arrested in Louisiana after police say they found 213 pounds of marijuana in a van that he was driving. So they busted him on November 4th, and then 6 weeks later, after being found with 213 pounds, he was carrying 175 pounds of pot. What's crazy is, at the time, I remember when this happened, everybody was like, I can't believe this. This is disgusting. Now it's like, obviously that's a lot of weed, but weed is not, we've realized as a society, weed isn't like the biggest cause of all our concerns right now. But that's so much weed. You would need a van to fit that much weed in it, actually.
Dude, there's a lot of drunk horsing Amish people.
Can you get arrested for drunk driving on a horse?
Yes.
I think you
yes,
can,
and the Amish have proved it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
There-
okay, you
there's-
definitely can.
Yeah, there is 84. So there wasn't a rule before the Amish came around about drunk horsing around. So with it, there's been everyone in as they explain here, that most Amish people know someone who's died in a drunk driving accident, but where they are the drinker and driver.
Do they get into horse crashes with each other?
Yes. And the charges are kind of comical, but over driving a horse is one of them.
Oh, speeding?
Yeah. And so them and the Mennonites tend to, yeah. He was quickly caught and charged with failure to stop at a stop sign, reckless endangerment, underage possession of alcohol, and over driving an animal.
Huh.
every drunk horsing charge is called overdriving an animal.
I would think that the horses would know not to get into accidents with other horses. They would like see the horses coming, right?
Yeah, but it's a lot of like blowing stop signs.
Yeah. Do you guys think you could survive in the Amish community?
No.
Oh, I definitely could. Yeah. Without
You
doubt.
think you could?
It's just the earthly Pandora without the cool shit on the planet. You know what I mean?
What do you mean by that?
They wake up in the morning and their whole existence is to serve the community and like to just be and serve their God, right? They think that is what's happening like after they died, and so they with that shit, and so like their dedication is like, I'm very envious of that. Like I don't have that, as far as like I don't have that conviction that they do of what happens when they die. So, but they've given themselves in a way that I yearn for. Like I would argue, like I gave myself that way to like my craft, like as a kid, right? And so I understand like the dedication and what it can do for you peace wise and what it can do for you like community wise. And I think, I mean, I could easily adapt if that was, you know, what my conviction was. Absolutely.
I don't think I could do it. Not after I've been on a 38-year Rumspringa, and I like it. I like it too much.
Come home, PFT. Come home,
dude. The hardest thing is they can't listen to music outside of the church. That's the
that would be
one.
my hardest thing, because that music is life, dog. I mean, I would just develop a sect that just does the music as well.
Can you sing outside of a church?
I think they do. Yes, they do. No.
Music is only. That's where a lot of them, they hear, like the biggest thing on Rumspringa is they like hear music for the first time. They're like, oh yeah,
oh shit,
I'm about to leave my whole life
trap
music.
I was actually very surprised they don't use instruments at all.
It's just vocals.
Yeah.
Just a cappella stuff. What about drums?
Ooh,
Can they stomp their feet?
I don't know, but it said no
Can they
instrument.
stomp
Like
their feet?
obviously,
Gotta stomp and holler.
not listening to
know them
CDs
niggas
and
off
stuff
beat though.
makes sense to me.
Did you see the clip of Growing Up Amish where the guy starts freaking out because his sister who runs off ends up getting pregnant with another man who isn't Amish, and he freaks out?
No.
It's a very funny clip.
Yeah, what they do.
So go ahead.
I was just gonna say they make church the place where you go to get like all the fun stuff. So that's why people go back to church all the time.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah, it's a little manipulative though.
Yeah.
So on a sadder note, but also not sad note, one of the things I came across, which is why like I have the utmost respect for their conviction, because they are, you know, and I say they like the majority of them, like that's how they raised their children. So there was this dude, I forget his name. Fuck his name. There was a dude who had a school shooting, right? So it was a dude who served a lot of the farms at this Pennsylvania farm. He served the milk, served a whole bunch of families, and there was a school. And he went into the school and he shot 10 girls and killed 5 of them, right? And it was just little girls. And he lined them all up like execution style and shot them. And while that's sad as shit, the response from the Amish community was fucking emotional. Just reading it, because what they did was, because he had 3 daughters and a wife, and the reasons as to why he wrote suicide notes to every single one that he left behind, and you know he had his reasons or whatever. I think he had a daughter that died shortly after birth, and he said that changed him forever, and he had this like vengeance towards God or whatever the case may be. And so after he killed these girls, which is sad and it's just sick, the Amish communities in that community, their response was to reach out to the wife of the shooter. They reached out to all of his in-laws, and they were like showing so much love and compassion. Like, we know you guys are going through it. We're hurting too. They offered them, like, they invited they invited the wife to one of the little girls that he killed. They invited her to the funeral. And they wanted people to understand, like, yo, it's not a place to judge. Like he's at, I think one of the quotes was like, he's standing before a just God, so whatever God feels like his punishment should be, that's what it's going to be. It's not on us. Our job is to forgive. Like, we want to forgive, and we want to be there for his family that are hurting, the families of the girls that are hurting. And that's how they chose to move on from that event. And it was just, to me, awe-inspiring. Whereas me, that's fucking me up for life. I don't have that, right? But I also wasn't trained under their tutelage of the forgiveness that they have and the conviction that they have for, their deity that they serve. And so to me, it's obviously a sad event, but it was also like an inspiring one because of how they chose to, and oddly enough, they got a lot of backlash on how they chose to respond to it, which was wild because, like, even though I don't think I could do what they did in their shoes, to me, it was inspiring because I wish I had that in me to respond like that. And who knows how I respond like that, but that's how they chose, and whatever, reasons they had to do so, they did that, and they did it very valiantly to me. And to me, that's a testament to that lifestyle, which is complete and total dedication, complete and total submissiveness to the doctrine that they believe is the truth. And I was just inspired reading that. It was kind of beautiful, and it was a sad turn of events.
Yeah, it takes a lot of strength to be able to, like, show love to somebody that's that close to the person that killed your loved one. Instead of just like letting fear and not fear, but letting anger take over you for the rest of your life and poison you and turn you into a person that's not pleasant to be around.
Preach.
Back to the hymns and the songs that they sing in church. So one thing that's fascinating is they don't have musical instruments, as we said, and they don't do harmonies. Harmonies are not allowed. So
that's all right. I'm out.
it's just the melody, right? So the hymns.
Yeah, what's wrong with a good C chord vocally? What the fuck?
So they're sung in unison, no harmonizing, and sometimes it takes 15 minutes to do a full song, which is pretty wild. That actually sounds like, no disrespect to the Amish community, that sounds like trash music.
They got no slaps.
No. And well, this is kind of cool. So they don't write down the music either. You're not allowed to write the music. So the melodies get passed down from generation to generation to generation, which started, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago. You're singing the same songs just based off the people that sang them before you, that you learned those songs from them. And then you pass those down just by listening and singing those to people who are younger than you. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, man. Good culture.
But yeah, no harmonies.
I don't understand. What is the reasoning for that? No harmony?
It's too sexual. It sounds too good.
They're not wrong.
Yeah.
They're not wrong.
Yeah, you can't. You keep your minor thirds to yourself.
I just tell you, if I could sing, I'd fuck around and have 10 kids, bro. That shit.
Yeah, same. If I could sing, I'd be out of here so fast.
Man, facts, bro. A lot of times, it's kind of cheating, man. Like, people who can sing. So, like, one of the greatest hooks, to me of all time is Music Soul Child. Oh fuck, what is it? What is the song called? That dum 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 dum. What is that song called? Is it Sunny?
I don't know.
What?
Sing it again.
You said what?
Sing it again.
What did you say? That boom dum 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 boom dum dum boom dum boom dum boom dum boom dum. Now I know. You don't what? You don't know this song?
No.
I just I said I'm not trying to pressure you, just can't stop thinking about you. You ain't even. Wow, really?
No.
I'm about to blow your mind. Pause. What's dope about singers is, like, that to me, that's a great hook, right? I'm not trying to pressure you. That shit. He doesn't rhyme the whole hook. There's no rhyme.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like it because it's just so beautiful melodically.
Yeah.
And like singers do that shit all the time. Like they could save a verse where the words are but like the way they have their runs and shit, amazing.
I agree. You can do that if you got a great melody. If you try to do it in a rap song, if you're like trying to spit bars and there's absolutely no rhyme scheme, then it gets really weird. It gets weird fast. Yeah. with the Amish, they believe in a literal interpretation of Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by your renewing of your mind. Then you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. So basically just don't change. Be the same. Just because the world changes, you don't have to. That's cool. That's cool to think about. What about the medicine? Did you guys look into the medical beliefs? So that's they don't. It says that they do not prevent surgery, blood transfusions, anesthesia, or dental work. Organ transplant is allowed, but not the heart. So you cannot do a heart transplant.
I think there's a lot of stuff that goes way under the radar with the Amish community when it comes to medicine, especially when it comes to childbirth, that we just don't know about.
What do you mean?
I think they're doing Spartan style child rearing.
What is that?
Like, if the baby doesn't survive, it doesn't survive, and if it's not fit, they're just putting it out to pasture.
You think so?
Yeah, from what I've looked up.
What was the Spartan style?
Leave the baby overnight after it's born, and if it survives, it survives, or like 3 weeks.
So
Seems like a bit much.
yeah,
Yeah.
what I've read
Also,
what I've read is that they're not opposed to like modern medicine, but a lot of them do like to do folk remedies.
Ivermectin.
no, like, this baby isn't fit to live. Let's just like pretend it never happened.
I bet they've got really good allergy protection.
There's no way they do that, but what is their justification?
No, because it's what they've been doing for thousands of years.
But what's their justification? Because everything that they do is biblically justified. What is their justification? I've never heard of this before, so you're gonna have to give me more than trust me.
No, because of there's a large amount of genetic disorders in the Amish community because they're very,
they inbreed.
yes, they're not very genetically diverse. It's the founder's effect is the proper term for it, but it's because it's such a small population that has come from various parts of Germany, Switzerland area, and they just, because the only way they can get out is Rumspringa, no one really gets in. There's a different group of people called the Hutterites
Mm-hmm.
who are reported to go look for outsider males to stud their females to keep genetic diversity, which is another wild concept.
Interesting. So they just send people out, and you're like, that person looks strong. I want
Yeah,
that person
they
to
literally
fuck my wife.
approach dudes in bars and they're like, yo, can you come over and breed my wife?
Do you think that's true?
I have firsthand experience from someone I know who's been approached by Hutterites.
That's not firsthand.
He told me, so secondhand.
Good. Yeah. Good point. Good point, Big T. You have secondhand experience with that directly.
Yeah. In South Dakota.
Damn, so they do have a problem with inbreeding in Amish communities, a higher rate.
Yeah, higher rate because you have just a limited pool of people to select from. One thing that's fascinating about Amish people, they have outstanding hearing. They've got the best hearing in the world. And it's true because think about it. If you're Amish and you live in an Amish community, there's a lot of stuff you don't get exposed to that causes hearing damage. Like
No music.
You don't go to see you don't go to see like a rock show. You don't go to a music festival. You don't have to walk down the street and have jackhammers going on the sidewalk. The loudest thing you have is probably like your horse or your chicken. Yeah, you get that all the time. So they have almost perfect hearing for the most part. There's definitely like some genetic abnormalities every now and again, but for the most part, since you don't deal with loud noises at all, you've got great hearing. So shout out to the Amish. But they have to listen to that garbage music, which sucks to have perfect hearing for that.
That's facts. They could make some bangers if they allowed instruments.
That's true.
because they hear a little better.
I wonder what the
Harmonies.
justification for that is.
For
No instruments.
no instruments. I think
Just that they're worldly.
I'm gonna assume that it has something to do with like just things being too complicated in music is like a slippery slope to dancing.
A nice acoustic guitar never hurt anybody.
You know, you start playing some flamenco guitar. Next thing you know, people are dancing. Next thing you know, they're doing
I
the
guess.
lambada. Next thing you know, they're all pregnant. Like this is why
True.
Elvis was like. It's so funny to watch clips of Elvis on TV when he's like singing, and all the moms across America were like, "Oh my God, what the fuck is this? Like this son of a bitch."
I got to tell y'all something about Elvis. I was in Madison, Wisconsin last weekend for the Tennessee basketball game against Wisconsin. There is a plaque on the side of the road in Madison, Wisconsin. It's a car dealership is there now, but there's a little monument where Elvis was going through Madison on his tour bus and saw two guys about to fight on the side of the road, stopped his tour bus, got out and was like, "Hey guys, Elvis is telling you don't do this." And they didn't fight. And there's a plaque dedicated to that event. And he died like a month later.
Wow. So it was Fat Elvis.
Probably, yeah.
Can you imagine you're
That
about?
was the goat Elvis.
Yeah, I agree, Billy. You're about to
Like
you're probably a drunk, large Wisconsinite. You get into a fight with somebody over God knows what, and you're on the side of the road, and then a tour bus stops, and then Fat Elvis in like a sequin jumpsuit steps out, and he tells you guys Elvis says no, and then he drives away. Nobody would ever believe you in a million years.
On June 24th, 1977, Elvis Presley, while riding to Madison from the airport, noticed a street fight in progress at what was then a Skyline service station. While his limo was stopped at the nearby red light, the king ran from the car and threatened the combatants with a classic karate stance. The young men recognized Elvis and stopped fighting in favor of shaking hands with the star.
That is incredible. What a great story. That's like Kendall Jenner
Yeah,
taking
but
out a
it
Pepsi.
worked.
Here you go.
Kendall's, I guess, worked in the commercial.
Here you go, guys. Let's stop shooting each other. Here's a Pepsi.
All right, so I found this. The reason why Amish don't have instruments. They said, unfortunately, musical talent isn't equal among the members of any group, as is the case with most abilities. Some may have more musical talent than others. Therein lies the danger for the Amish, as this can lead to boastfulness and pride. They appreciate the talent that goes into playing musical instruments, and many Amish enjoy listening to folk music. However, they do not play musical instruments themselves. That's kind of like, it got him getting some hater vibes right there.
We can't have anybody getting all high and mighty.
Yeah, exactly.
What if you're a beast
Better
at
put down that
softball?
banjo. Who the fuck do you think you are?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like the pussification of America. It's like we can't have anybody. Everyone gets a trophy in the Amish community. Everyone gets
No
it.
one-
It's communism.
It is.
imagine if they just like
Actually, it literally
hate-
is communism.
Which they're
isn't
a
it?
pretty communist-like society.
They
so.
are, yeah.
Low key.
They just hate fast people. They're like, oh, you're faster than everybody else.
Well, yeah, like what if that their little softball tournaments? What if you're the town goat at softball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have
You have to just quit playing.
yeah, because you have to be so humble.
Yeah.
Be like, you know what? I'm not that great.
Sorry for hitting another homer, guys. I'm
Yeah.
actually not good.
There's got to be some smart ass way, but the Lord gave me this talent at softball. Like, what am I supposed to not play? I would love to hear the answer to that.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yeah, the best softball players don't get to play.
Damn.
That's fucked up. No one.
I would go to an Amish softball game.
Yeah, I would too. I would actually like to check out the community, but I don't think they don't take too kindly to outsiders coming in.
Nah,
They're like literally the farthest right people you could think of.
Well, they're
From
communists.
No. Like farthest right from a, not a financial standpoint, but from a social standpoint.
Go on.
Like they're literally like religious extremists if you think about it.
Go on.
Yeah.
But they are.
Go on.
Got the floor, man.
Say it with your chest, Billy.
This is we've done this.
I haven't. Do it.
I might do it.
Pull the trigger, bro.
I might do it.
You're on a podcast. They're
They
waiting.
they sneaky remind me of the Taliban.
There it is. Talk that shit, Billy. Let us
I'm not
know
talking
why.
shit, but it's like
Give us the juxtaposition.
they're a far
favorite
right
words.
extremist group that is extremely conservative. They have kind of problematic beliefs when it comes to progressive issues, and they're extremely ethnically homogenous, that they have literal genetic disorders because they're so insular.
Amish people, Taliban. Got you, Billy.
I'm just saying it's not that far off, but
pretty far off.
way less violent. Way less violent.
That's the far off part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty big difference, though.
I mean, Christian evangelical people are, of the same ilk as far as like right wing extremism, but you're not going to say that they're the Taliban.
Right. But you know that meme, and we spoke about this, like far right evangelicals with guns and a book, and it's the same as Muslim extremists, like that meme.
I haven't seen this meme. Not sure that I totally agree.
Yeah, they're not really going into other communities and blowing them up, though.
Right. But it's still, I mean, under different framing, it's kind of like, oh boy, this is pretty extremist.
So you're against any kind of theocracy altogether?
Yeah. And I think separation of religion and state is definitely a bonus.
Welcome to America, buddy.
Exactly.
We have some breaking news right now. Major League Baseball's competition committee has proposed reducing the pitch clock with runners on base from 20 seconds to 18 seconds. Billy, how many fewer beers are you going to be able to drink at a baseball game if the pitch clock's only 18 seconds with runners on base?
It's just gotten shorter?
2 seconds shorter, yep.
Yeah, that is.
Although, Big T, we do need to look into the pitch clock in Major League Baseball.
Well, that never goes down to tenths, so it's not, doesn't matter.
But when it hits 0, oh yeah, I guess, okay. I think it implies that when there's 1 second left on the pitch clock, that it's counting down from 0.9, 0.8, 0.7, 0.6, 0.5, 0.4, 0.3,
Right.
0.2, 0.1, and then 0.
Yes.
Right? Like
the
a play
issue
clock.
is going from the 1 minute and 00 seconds to the decimals, and then it starts over.
I think your real issue is going from 20 minutes. That's really where it starts, is at the 20 minutes.
We'd have to see.
We'll take a look at it. We're gonna investigate. But yeah, I wanted to bring that up because I know that's a sore subject for Billy. All right, you guys want to do some voicemails?
Did we, while I was gone, did we get a response from the MILF man?
We did. We'll get into that during the voicemails, okay? All right, voicemails are brought to you by Sport Clips. Your hair might grow fast, but after going to Sport Clips haircuts, you're going to wish it grew even faster. That's because Sport Clips has the best seats and hair, and that may or may not be because they happen to be right in front of TVs playing sports all day, every day. We know that watching sports while getting a haircut sure beats watching your reflection get a haircut, which is why at Sport Clips, every day you get clippers, curveballs, waves, wickets, high tops, Hail Marys. Sport Clips rocks. It's great. It's goated. Sport Clips, you can check in with the pros in men's hair and totally check out because you get pure, uninterrupted relaxation. Get sports on TV while you get a haircut, and the MVP experience is unreal. Get the hot steam towel, massaging shampoo. You feel like a king. Sport Clips, it's a game changer. I love Sport Clips. All right, so let's get into voicemails. Before we do, let's catch Billy up on the MILF guy. And also, I think we should give Billy the floor because we did talk about this while he was gone. Bloggate with Billy. So we discussed the Will Levis blog situation, Billy, where you went back, you edited an old blog to add in a line about how you think Will Levis is going to be good in the NFL, and then you republished it, and then you tweeted out the link saying this person raised some good questions but came to the wrong to the right conclusion about Will Levis, and you tweeted that out when he was having a good game, and you addressed the situation from atop a camel in Egypt, basically saying like, fuck the haters, I don't have time to be worrying about a blog right now. Can you walk us through what was going through your mind when you decided to edit your blog from like 8 months ago?
So I literally, I've always had that take. I've said it multiple times. I just realized if you look at all my blogs on Will Levis, and I have a bunch of them, I've only said positive things, except in that one blog when I was being sarcastic, mocking him for the question he asked on One Question with the Quarterback on Pardon My Take. So I just echoed, I literally, if I thought I was being dishonest or some like crazy thing, like I didn't think it was that big. Like, if you look at my other blogs,
do you think it's dishonest to edit a blog and then pretend that blog hasn't been edited?
Well, you know, when you go back and look, I never pretended. I admitted it as soon as possible. Once I realized
you got caught,
you didn't admit it. Someone else found it.
You admitted it as soon as you got caught red-handed.
No, I didn't get caught red-handed. My hand got caught, but it was not red. Like I'm not like like people saw me.
What color
make
was your
movements.
hand?
And my hand was my regular color.
At the very,
it wasn't. No, but like seriously,
your hand is kind of red in general. I mean,
look, I was reading the blog.
Didn't you
your
face, nigga?
It was one of those things where I was reading the blog like back from when I had written it, and I literally was like, okay. And did you notice the grammatical corrections I made to the blog?
No.
I got embarrassed because I was reading this blog and was like, oh shit, like there's a typo there, there's a typo there. I'm editing a bunch of stuff. And I'm just like, I'm not reposting this because I mean
But you did repost it.
I know, but like I'm not reposting this. I'm not reposting this with all these errors, and then I'm changing a bunch of stuff. And I'm like, okay, like let me get the point I wanted to when I was writing this blog across.
Retroactively, I'm not the point that I was trying to make,
and then say you made the great point.
No, but the thing is, there's like tons of blogs I wrote on Will Levis about his draft day combine, his pro day, and I make all the points that I said in that blog. I just exact blog, I didn't have my like. I really stand by.
So then why wouldn't you tweet those out and then say, oh,
because they didn't have a good title. They didn't have a good title. They were current events.
But
they're my fault.
But you could also link the other blogs in your Twitter threads on the bottom. And
I could, but then once everyone got up in arms about it, I literally did that exact thing. I was like, look, I say it in this one. Like didn't think it was a big deal. I stick to like. I really don't think I did anything that I like. It was so. Why would I go on the line for something so inconsequential?
Great question,
Billy. Why would you go back into the website, edit a blog from 8 months ago, add in a line, and then tweet that out and act like that was in there the whole time? Why would you do something like that?
Because I'm trying to get blog clicks. Why did PFT, you lie about it being your first time in the studio when you posted that video with Big T today going into the studio?
It was our
it
was our first day going into the studio to record.
It's it's one of those like inconsequential things. You're just trying to present it in the best way.
It's just one of those
inconsequential thing. I feel you.
It's like I'm not like. But like it's the exact same thing. PFT, you took a video and you're like, this is my first time in the studio. Big T called you out and you're like, dude, what the fuck?
It is our first time going in here to record.
I didn't call him out. I was kind of joking around about the fact that obviously we've been in here before the first time.
So was Nate. He was playing got you because he wanted to get a dunk in, and I don't blame Nate for him. It's like it created great content, but of course I want to dunk back on Nate because it really doesn't fucking matter.
But how long did it take you to unretweet because you thought you did a good thing?
Yeah, can you explain that part?
Good point, Mackenzie.
Great call.
Yeah, no, I was reading the blog and I was like, okay, dude, and I like unretweeted. But like, it's one of those things where I'm like,
you thought Nate tweeted that out just to like give you credit about your great take, and you're like, good point, Nate.
No fact checking.
No, but seriously, read all my blogs on Will Levis, and you're gonna only see positive things. The only reason I chose that one to tweet was because it had the best title, because it talked about how Will Levis is too weird and too strong to be an NFL quarterback, and we just like talked about all the intangibles where he like literally posts pictures of him being jacked, and then he was being weird in interviews, and I was like, this guy is purposely being weird in interviews to drop his draft stock to get into a better team
Right,
situation.
Wait, the entire premise of you tweeting out a blog to begin with was that Will Levis was playing good, and you wanted
Because I wanted the extra clicks.
and you wanted people to know that you correctly predicted Will Levis would be good.
Well, yeah,
But
I mean,
but you didn't in the blog once again in the blog that you tweeted out.
I
you
said
did not
positive
say-
things in the blog that weren't the exact sentence I put at the end. I say a bunch of positive things. It's not like I put out a negative blog that I then changed to positive. I literally just
think that's exactly
added one
what you did.
sentence.
I think that's exactly what you did, Billy.
No, it wasn't a negative blog at all. I said he was so smart. He was tricking all the GMs into thinking he was a weirdo so that he would drop down because he was so good.
Also, Billy, you said you tweeted out this blog that people were going to click on from 8 months ago because it had the best title. Twitter's link sharing does not include the title, and you didn't put the title in the tweet, so nobody saw the title.
Well, fuck, Elon's betrayed me now. Like, it's really like I literally was laying in bed just cheering on Will Levis, and I literally was like, yo, let me pull up my funniest Will Levis blog to put out so people can like read it so that we can get clicks and operate as a company. I mean, like I like literally was like, what? Like this thing blowing
putting
up.
the company on his back.
That boy funny as hell, dog.
I don't give a like literally. I
Talk
don't.
that shit, Billy. Get him off him,
I was
dog.
on a like. I don't give a fuck about
Fuck
like
them, Billy. Fuck them.
I like don't understand how would I have like purely benefited so like what do I have to gain from this
That boy Billy
to put
Great
in that
question.
I
You can
don't
say that
have
about anything
anything.
you've ever lied about ever.
Yeah, because it's like PFT, why did you lie? It was your first time in the studio.
Why do you keep
I said this
was
was our first time going into the studio because it was our first time going into the studio to record. I don't think.
Well,
that's-
Big T said that wasn't true, so you lied.
And
What
then-
did you have to gain from that?
Billy, do you think those two things are analogous at all?
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
insane if
It
you
is
think
insane.
that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What, that you think that you want your videos to get views and likes, so you lie about the context of it, and then I change one sentence in a blog, and
You didn't
that's so
change,
much
you
work.
added, I think the guy is going to be next level. Like you said that in March.
Well,
I did. I wanted to
did.
get a
Pull
video
up-
of our first
pull
time
up
going into the studio for our first podcast that we were taping.
which is true.
yeah, I don't.
I also
that-
just like you turned the camera on me. I didn't really know what to say. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, well, I was in here 5 minutes
It
ago.
was a good video. It was a good video. Big T
Well,
did
yeah.
a good job
Well,
in that.
pull up my other Will Levis blogs. I literally have a bunch of them praising him from before that blog. It's not like that was my only comment on the situation.
Again, why did you go back and add that sentence and then tweet?
Because when I pulled up the blog, I literally was just reading through it, changing a bunch of stuff. Because when you type out blogs quickly, like I was changing grammar.
What? That's fair. Bill, no one's giving Billy any credit for editing the blog to make the blog better grammatically. We're all focusing on the one change, which is where he adds in a sentence to make him seem like he predicted that Will Levis would be a great quarterback.
But
we're not talking about how
I did in other blogs.
Yeah, but we're not talking about all the good stuff you did to that blog, Billy.
Dude, honestly, like the goalposts get freaking thrown.
My man's is funny, dog. That shit is pure comedy, bro.
So let me pull up my positive Will Levis blog, which I think was written before.
No, I don't care. I honestly don't care about.
Yeah, like no one should care. Nate tried to play gotcha, and I was like, okay, you want to play that? I'm on a fucking camel, motherfucker. Like,
Okay, so Billy, to answer the original question about whether or not the person who had the moral quandary about whether or not to sleep with his friend's mom reached back out to us. He did reach back out to us, in fact, and he decided not to do it. He said Arian made a lot of good points, and he just needed to hear somebody say those things to him, which he was already kind of thinking in the back of his head. So he did not go with the, fuck it, it's going to be sick, just bang your friend's mom. He went with, I'd prefer not to destroy a relationship between a mother and a daughter. So that's kind of, that's where we're at with that one.
sweet. Could have been a sicker story.
It definitely could have been. All right. So
On many fronts.
So let's get to voicemails for this week.
Okay.
Hey, what's up? My name is Curtis. I wanted to ask about, I know that PFT and Arian agree on a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff. Is there one thing that maybe they don't agree on? Like, what's a sticking point between Arian and PFT that maybe we don't know about? Thanks, and see you guys. Also, you're beautiful and adorable and all the other words.
This is a great point, and I'm glad that he caught this, because 99.9% of people that listen to this show, when we talk politics, I get all the "you fucking left it, you fuck blah blah blah." PFT gets none of it because he has a masterful way.
No, I get a lot of it.
I've never seen it, so I'm not in your mention. So you may get it. You may get it. You may. I don't know. I don't know. But from my vantage point, it's always Arian is this super leftist, and like PFT, I don't even know what they think about you, your fans. You've done a masterful job of hiding that shit. But I don't think, honestly, there is much we disagree on. I don't think he's as far left as I am, but he's pretty close. So maybe, I mean, you've heard me talk a lot about my ideologies, PFT. Maybe you can be like, you know what, Aaron, I don't agree with you on this, because when I hear you talk, there's not much I don't agree with.
I don't think I agree with you 100% on your drug policies.
Oh, you think all shit should be illegal?
I think some things should be. There needs to be some form of government adjudication of certain drugs. Yeah.
Which ones?
I would say opiates. And
wait, when you say government adjudication, what do you exactly mean by that?
So maybe it's not like a fully baked plan that I have in my head, but I think that opiates should be controlled, and I don't think that they should be able to be accessed by anybody that wants to use opiates.
No, we agree on that. So I think Big T brought that up, but I think the analogy I used was, you can't just go buy out the store of alcohol, full of alcohol, right? Like it's illegal. There's a certain amount of cap, or even if you get too drunk at a bar, they're legally allowed to deny you, right? And so while alcohol is not as potent as opioids, I think you should have a relative regulation for it. And I agree. I don't think anybody should just go up and be able to just dose up as much heroin as they want, but I do believe it should be accessible in a way that is I guess beneficial to, especially if somebody's who's trying to wean themselves off of it.
Yeah, I just think that with opiates, such a small amount can do so much damage that it's way harder to take that same alcohol approach with those types of drugs. Because if you want to overdose on alcohol, you can do it. You can go out and you can buy like a handle of liquor and just, chug it all at once. But with opiates, the difference between what would be like a wean off dose or a standard dose and a death is so small that I don't see a good way to regulate any of that stuff.
But we do that already with the prescription pills. We literally do that.
Right, and it's not working very well.
Agree. So but that's what I'm saying is.
But at least there are some barriers with prescription pills where you have to have a doctor's note and you have to go through that process to take care. So we're trying to do it. We're not doing a very good job. I don't think that we should make it easier to get. I think we should make them harder to get.
Okay, well, I think we disagree on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think getting it is going to happen whether you want it to or not. So it's more about regulating it and providing more education about it rather than just wholesale banning it. Because what ban has ever worked?
Right. I agree with that. Like, banning of drugs and the war on drugs has been a huge failure with consequences that aren't just even in the drug world. It's like spanned out into other places, and the way we treat, like, different countries' governments right now, especially Central and South America, have been installed just based on our drug laws. And it's created civil wars. It's created a lot of violence overseas that we don't see on a day-to-day basis, but they unquestionably happen. Like, if you look at what we did in the 80s in the 70s, we basically like redrew the maps of who's ruling what part of Central and South America because of the war on drugs. And it fucked them up big time to the point where now a lot of people that are like the most anti-immigration people ever that say we can't take any more refugees from or asylum seekers from these countries, they're seeking asylum because of civil wars that started because of the war on drugs from us. Yeah.
Another sticking point, which I feel like you would be on board with, right? And the big reasons why is a lot of like conservative talking points regarding police interaction and over policing and stuff like that is that it's necessary, right? Or gang violence even, right? So a lot of gang violence is not just like hungry people. I mean, blood hungry people that are just running around killing people. A lot of it has to do with like drug wars, right? And so and also one of their sticking points for immigration is like the cartels coming over and flooding the streets with all these drugs. Well, if you corner that market, right, you give them less leverage to talk about the actual points that we need to talk about with regards to immigration, with regards to over policing. When you take that from underneath them, because nobody's talking about massive amounts of marijuana being shipped into California because it's legal now, right? Mm-hmm. And it's not a problem. But it's not a problem because we legalized it and we regulated it in a way that everybody seems to believe is going in a positive direction. Now you're going to have your ups and downs. But so from my vantage point, what is your, I guess, response to if you regulate it, you take some of the leverage out of the conversation of the drug cartels, of all of this stuff that seems to be sticking points to a lot of their, I guess, hesitation to like real progress in our community.
So I think that that's definitely true, where the drug wars have created like so much violence, especially in cities and urban areas at large across America. Like that's 1,000,000% true. I think that with certain drugs like opioids, the danger of innocent lives being lost is much higher if it's easier to get those drugs everywhere than the danger of innocent lives being lost with like a gang situation. And there's got to be a way. I don't know what the fix is to that, but I just feel like it'd be much more dangerous. Like if you look at rural America and the opioid crisis in the last 20-25 years, there's not a whole lot of gang influence, or there wasn't a whole lot of gang influences that sprung up. It was like, like doctor shopping and pharmacies that, or doctors' offices that would just write prescriptions to anybody for these pills because they too were addicted to these pills, and they saw they could make a whole lot of money if they just gave people easier access to opiates, and a lot of people died from that. I don't think that's not as intertwined with the drug wars as what you're talking about. So I just see it's like a cost benefit where more innocent people would be healthier and alive if we limited access to those opiates, as opposed to letting, there's going to be an element of gang culture that's involved in trafficking those opiates, which is a bad thing. It's a bad thing.
Last question I'll ask. Yeah, no, I agree. Last question I asked, do you believe in a ban across the board from opioids?
No, because they definitely have a time and a place, for sure. And if you were to just like stop producing opiates in America, then you would get probably a fuckload of like doctored up fentanyl from across the border, and it become more and more dangerous to use. And also just like from a painkilling aspect, people forget that like 150 years ago, surgery was like bite down on the stick while we cut into your leg. Like obviously painkillers, like there's a time and a place for painkillers before. I needed painkillers last week and the week before. I didn't have them and it sucked because I couldn't sleep. Now that's like a very, very minor example of it. But yeah, painkillers definitely they've got a place.
So I guess I hear you saying no to my solution. What would your solution be? It sounds like you don't really.
I don't know.
It sounds like you have Trump's healthcare right now.
Yeah, I do. I will unveil my opiate solution to you next week, and it's going to be the best solution you've ever seen. It's gonna do wonders for our community. It's gonna be so beautiful that you won't even believe it.
I'm in.
But I don't think that blanket decriminalization of everything is a good solution.
I got you,
Yeah.
Trump. Well, I'm looking forward to your solution.
Okay.
Make Barstool great again. I'm with you.
Let's do it. I am also like, I think a lot of times people look at, like me and Arian have a different perspective, especially on, like dogs. No, but I'm saying me and you together have a different perspective on, like financial, like the class system, basically. I think Arian and I are, for the most part, in favor of the working class. We're in favor of doing everything that we can to actually support people that are born into like bad poverty situations. But we sometimes people like that get lumped in with, you know, the woke like libtards that people always talk about, you know? And from a culture war standpoint, I just think that the culture war is a bunch of bullshit that nobody should really pay attention to. Because if you're arguing over culture war bullshit, then you're very much distracted from what the real issues are. So
agreed. I like to dabble in the culture war stuff because that's just fun for me. Sometimes it's like a fix. But I agree wholeheartedly. And it's like when we ever had an opportunity to have a real conversation with a congressman, we absolutely, that's part of my resistance to him was like, you could really pass real legislation, but you're here worrying about bullshit, which is the majority of what our politicians do now. And so I agree, you do get lumped into that. And I think politics in general gets sidetracked from that because of the small, the trans issue, for example. It's such a small part of everyday American life, but it's such a sticking point. Like, where do you stand on trans issues? Like, it's like that's being in the same conversation as abortion, which is a real conversation to have, right? Where the trans issue is like such a small conversation to have, where I think it's like a very small percentage of people are even see trans people or deal with trans people on a day-to-day basis. It's not enough to have a national conversation about it, in my opinion. But like it is like, it's culture war stuff. So you have to pick a side. And obviously, when I do sit down and bang out these issues, I'm far left. I think you would be too, but I just don't think you care about it as much, which rightfully so. And honestly, I was thinking about this the other day, man. And like I think I've said this before on this podcast, but Big T has really changed my perception about conservatives because, and really about political dialogue in general, because for years it was like, I attributed the intent of where they fall politically. I attributed that to like their personality and who they are as human beings, right? So like if you were against abortion, I felt a certain way about you. If you were against certain policies, I felt a certain way about you. If you're a super capitalist, I felt a certain way about you. But it's really changed my mind in the sense of like, I really think we could just disagree on these issues. And I don't think your intent is to harm people. Now, that doesn't absolve everybody, because sometimes that is the case. But I think we can disagree depending on how we talk, depending on your verbiage. That I really just feel like you just have a different way of going about things that doesn't want to harm people. And that's the thing about politics, is like these policies affect people's lives. And that's why I get so emotional. But I digress.
Yeah, well said. I think that, yeah, Arian, you and I, we agree very much about like the class issue being the number one thing. Yeah. And not like, obviously there's race discussions that need to happen, and there's things that can be improved across a lot of these different aspects. But the number one is the class. Actually, there was a great SNL sketch. I think it was when Tom Hanks hosted the show. You see that when he was a guest on Black Jeopardy?
It's one of my favorites.
It's perfect. Arian, have you seen this?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Oh, you haven't seen Tom Hanks on Black Jeopardy?
It's perfect. So he's like a MAGA guest on Black Jeopardy, and he just crushes it. Like he's what are some of the questions?
Skinny women can do this for you. What is not a damn thing? You damn right, Doug.
I'm gonna look it up.
Watch it. It's great. And actually, I think it was the best SNL skit that I've seen in probably like 15, 20 years.
And then its final Jeopardy is Lives That Matter. And they all look at him, and Kenan Thompson goes, "Fun while it lasted, Doug." And I quote that all the time. I say that once every few days.
Yeah, you got to watch it. That
Okay.
that to me made more salient points about everything that's going on with politics in America than any politician's made in a long time. But good question. Good voicemail.
Yeah. Do you want to do
100%.
another one?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Okay.
Hey, this is Sean from Massachusetts. I need advice from, especially Arian, but I just need advice from the whole crew. Billy, you can set this one out. So I am 21 years old, and I'm currently taking a welding class. And there's this girl in the welding class. I got her number, and then the following week, she informs me that she is 34 years old. That is about a 12, 13-year age difference. She's been nice. She's been, like, twirling her hair, eye contact, sitting next to me when it's presentation, not just welding classes. I think I have a chance, but every time I bring up, hey, we should meet outside of class and all that, it's a pleasant, distant rejection. Always something else. Do I continue to pursue? Do I drop it? Please let me know. Stay beautiful, stay handsome. Love y'all. You make my week. Have a great day, boys and girls. Miss you, Avery.
Aw. We'll send that into the group chat.
Dude, him telling me to sit this one out, but I'm the only one who's going to tell him to, like, roll the dice and, like, actually go for it.
You don't know what we going to say,
This
Billy.
is
What you
fucking-
talking about? What are you talking about?
Okay.
Damn. All right. So I missed the part. I missed the part where he said when he asked her out. What did she say?
Said it's always a polite rejection.
So he's actually invited her out.
Yes. Outside of welding class.
Got you. So I would say the advice I give him is, I think the age discrepancy is probably bigger for her than it is for him.
Especially when it's like girl is way older.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so depending on his maturity level, this could be a plus, right? This can be a good thing, right? And so if he's genuinely interested, my brother, I say shoot your shot. But I do it in a very matter of fact way. I wouldn't beat around the bush. I'd be like, hey, listen, the fact that she gave you her number to me says something. But it's perfectly fine if she wants you to have your number. She's not interested. But if I was him, I would absolutely do it in a very nice, kind way, right? I'd be like, hey, listen, I've been in class with you for a while. I just think you're a very beautiful woman from what I know for you. I would just love to get to know you on another level. If you're at all interested, I would like to take you out to dinner. I would just, either tell her that or send her a text like that. And if she politely rejects you, be like, okay, no problem, I respect it. And then actually respect her, because then you get into the creepy world. After you shoot your shot and you keep trying, it's creepy. But if you shoot your shot for real, like, this is it, I'm asking you out on a date to get to know you on a deeper level. She says yes, all right. But if she says no, respect that. Time to move on. Be cordial. It is what it is.
I think the respect part is really big here, because what she's worried about, probably because she gave you her number. So there's something that's like her being somewhat interested in you. But she's worried that, oh, he's so young. This age difference is so big for me. Like, he's too young. He's only 21. If you're a 34-year-old woman, you don't see yourself dating a 21-year-old guy, because they might be super immature. And then if she says no, then, you go out, you have a few beers one night, and you text her like, hey, I'm still thinking about you. Is there any chance? Can you give me another shot? Like, that whole follow-up thing is the type of, like, immaturity that I think she's trying to avoid to begin with in this situation. So you have to be worried about that, and then give her some time. If she changes her mind, she'll let you know. But I think you should go for it. I think, if, like Arian said, you have her number, there's a level of interest there, but you have to do it in a way that's like that reassures her that you're not immature. If that makes sense.
And Maddie and Matt, y'all can chime in here, because then tell me if I'm wrong, but. And this is not like a work thing, right? This is an after hours. They're just in a welding class together, from my understanding.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell a woman gives out her number unless she's mildly sure she's interested. Is that
Yeah, I don't know. I've also like sometimes I'll just be like too nice and I'll
Same.
I do that, but that's just me.
I'm like
Okay.
I don't. I mean, I'm gonna be so real. Not a ton of boys in my life have like asked me for my number
Yeah,
straight
that's
up,
also
but like
true.
I don't think I've ever been like no,
Yeah,
unless they were like at a like a random at a bar or something, or
Yeah.
like
Got you. Okay.
a complete dick to me. If someone was just kind of like, I mean, nice enough to me, I'd be like, sure.
Yeah,
I wouldn't necessarily put
it
it
wouldn't
as
necessarily like
I'm interested
mean it
in
as
him.
that. Yeah,
It's more of,
but I also
for real,
feel
it's more of I'm too afraid to say no. I feel bad.
yeah, me too.
Well, let me ask you guys this then. What do you think his intention of asking for your number is?
No, I understand what the asking intention is, but I also like, again, I'm a pussy. Like, I'm not saying that I'm like misconfrontational. I would rather just take your number and then like politely decline a date than be like, you can't have my number.
Yeah.
At
So
all.
that's why being direct in this is probably going to be important, to just say, hey,
Right.
this is why I'm interested. Let me know if you are.
Well,
And then give her the opportunity to say no if she really wants to say no.
Well, and I also feel like, especially if she's that much older than him, she might not even like look at him like that. And she might have taken it in a welding class way of like, oh yeah, I can have your number. Like if you have welding class questions or something.
In case you have any questions
take notes?
regarding
Yeah,
steel.
like did you take, yeah, exactly. So like,
I don't know about that one. I find it hard to believe a 34-year-old woman gives out her number to a 21-year-old man and is expecting welding questions. I just find that it could be the case. I could be wrong, but I find that hard to believe.
Was it in the voicemail? Did he ask for her number or did she just give it to him? That's also a difference.
He asked for it.
So yeah, see, that's different. If she was just like, hey, like, by the way, here's my number, that's a whole different ballgame.
That's
if
true.
he asked and she just gave it to him, he already started the interaction. So
but
it
he
would feel
also
different.
is saying that she has already like slightly declined him already asking her.
Right.
So I feel like that's his like sign.
She might
like,
just be being polite.
Yeah, so we don't have all the details between what the back and forth was and how the number was gotten. But
Right.
I don't think that there's any harm in saying, "Hey, I'm interested in you on this level. Let me know."
No,
if
there's
you're-"
no
Yeah.
there's no harm in
So
it.
okay,
Yeah,
correct
I
me if
think
I'm
that's
wrong
what
here
he has
too,
to
y'all. Ladies, you like when men are assertive. Like, do you like when like not creepy assertive, but just be like, hey, listen, you know, I'm really feeling you. I would love to take you out to dinner to get to know you on a better level, rather than like, hey, you want to go out for drinks, right? Of the two, you would much more prefer this is why I'm interested. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree. So I think that's your pathway there, my guy, is to just assert that, like, and just let her know your intentions, and then allow the balls in her court. And then, and like I said, the big part here is once she either lets you take her out or
softly.
not, you have to respect that decision in a very real way, because she was nice enough to give you her number, which is a very personal thing.
And don't if you follow Arian's advice, which is good advice, and you are very forward and direct about it, like, hey, I actually really like you, and she says no, do not keep asking.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like it's
No,
a one and
okay, dude, do you want to hear how to salvage the situation?
Okay, Billy
'Cause,
bonus advice.
done.
He specifically did not
No,
want to
this
hear
is
this, but
Fuck
yes.
it, we ball.
Yeah.
This is the advice you
dude.
don't take.
Yeah.
Put a
so mute.
GPS tracker under her car, bro.
No.
Put an
No,
air tag
dude,
on her.
If you're telling that she's not vibing
Bang
with you,
her
guess
mom.
what? Use it to network, bro. She's got friends. Try to hang out with her and her friends. Maybe she's not interested in you, but there's still a whole lot of opportunity there.
I don't.
So
We're
use it to
going
branch
cougar
out.
hunting.
Yeah, boys. Or Billy, what about this? Or you take a Photoshop class in addition to your welding class, which is just welding for pictures, and then you make up a fake ex-girlfriend that you had that like moved back overseas to Italy to be with her grandmother because she's sick, so you had to break up, unfortunately. But this woman is 36 years old, and so you show that you've already dated older women. That means that you're safe to date an older woman, and
No,
then you
that
send
sounds-
that
handle
to her.
them.
Yeah,
That sounds stupid. You
right.
can find.
I thought that was
No,
pretty
it's-
good. If we're gonna lie, like let's do
We're
a
not
constructive
lying. We're
lie
just
lie
being
here.
like,
All out.
okay, you're not interested in me, but like, you know, maybe we can hang out sometimes with you and your friend group. Like, Like, do you have any young friends? Do you have a younger sister?
There's nothing worse than asking a woman out and then she says, "No, think I'm not interested," and a dude saying, "Hey, but what about your friends though?" That's the horniest.
Insane.
It's the horniest, horrible shit that you could possibly do. Yeah.
And they would never say, "Yeah, my friends are available."
Right.
We're looking for solutions for this guy, and you guys are just
a lot of women to kiss.
You guys,
we already
everyone's just giving
established
bad news to this guy. Like, this guy needs some help. He needs some motivation.
No,
we gave him help.
But Billy, it sounds like he likes this one girl.
Right.
He doesn't like every girl.
34-year-old girl ever.
So in this one case, maybe he doesn't want to bang her friends. Maybe he wants to get to know and date this one woman.
Yeah.
God forbid.
He cares about her.
Yeah.
I think Billy's calling this guy a loser.
Yeah.
Yeah. This guy was having loser talk from the beginning.
But he's already gotten kind of softly declined by her.
Yeah.
So I think her kind of being like, "No, I'm not interested," I don't think it would be the craziest answer to that question.
Yeah. And we don't know if the soft declines are actually soft declines or if they're
right. Like, I'm wondering.
I don't know what the actual
what if he was like, "Hey, do you want to go out?" She's like, "Oh, I can't tonight because I was busy or whatever." You know what I'm saying? It might have been actually busy. So that way, this way we just know, we leave it out on the table. And to me, as a woman, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm 30 years old, say some young Joan tries to hit me, I would rather have her ask and be like, boom, "Oh no, I'm not really interested like that, but I appreciate you reaching out." I would appreciate that, much than the subtle, "Hey, I'm having a drink," which you kind of know as a 30-year-old you should know anyway. But hey, she hasn't declined him on her own. I don't think it's disrespectful for him to be like, "Hey, I'm interested. Are you?" Just to clear it out so we both know where we're at, and then we can enjoy welding class without this, tension.
Also, depending on how long the welding class is, if it's a semester and we're almost done with the semester, maybe wait till your final welding project. Kind of end the class like that.
Also, guys, we're just missing the obvious. She's a welder.
But
what does that mean?
Am I missing something?
Yeah, I know where Billy's going with this. Yes.
Are you saying she's ugly, Billy? Is that what you're saying?
No. She might be into welding and not.
Billy's saying she's a lesbian.
Yeah. Oh,
come on, guys.
I'm glad you said
there's no women welders that enjoy.
Billy.
Damn.
Dude.
That enjoy a
nice weld.
Guys, we're talking about welding.
I'm sure people would say that about the producers on this podcast.
Did you guys like welding?
Chris Long thought that me and Mackenzie were frat boys.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
What?
Yeah.
I watched a reality TV show about welding. It shit is actually pretty interesting, and there were some women on there, and I don't think they were lesbians.
Is it the sword one?
No. There is a sword one, but the one I'm talking about it actually has they had competitions and you had to weld shit. It was pretty dope actually. It was pretty dope to watch.
Yeah, I wouldn't throw the lesbian thing around there. If you want to, if she rejects you and then you want to make yourself feel better, be like, "Oh, she's just a lesbian." I don't know. But...
I'm just saying hey,
if that's the case, you got a homie.
Yeah.
Right. Then
that's also lesbians are amazing wing women.
Okay.
There's a lot of opportunities here. You can work with what you got.
Okay, now I'm with Billy. That is true. That is true. That lesbians do tend to be
get here.
They run interference, right? So if you at a bar with a lesbian homegirl, she'll be because women for whatever reason love women. Whether you straight, gay or not, course. Women love women. And so if you got a nice, cool little lesbian joint that can run interference, "Hey, my homeboy here, he thinks you kind of cute." That's a much better introduction than, "Hey, can I buy you a drink?" It's
less
just
threatening.
facts.
It's less threatening.
Yes, a good 1,000%. Because then the woman knows, women like him. It's okay.
That is true. If that's true. No, I see where you're coming from on that front. I don't know if this woman is a lesbian though.
Or bigger spin zone. She may be trying to 12-step you.
What is a 12-step?
Never mind.
Say it, Billy. I don't know what this is.
No, sometimes people in Narcotics Anonymous or Alcoholics Anonymous, they reach out to people and try to make connections with them to get them to join.
You're saying that the woman showed if a woman shows signs of interest in you, watch out because she might be a recovering addict that thinks that you're an addict that wants you to go to meetings with her.
What the fuck?
It happens, man. It's not.
What the fuck, man?
It happens, dude.
Yo, you a weirdo.
You know
man.
what? I think the guy that left this voicemail was totally wrong. I'm glad that Billy chimed in. I think he made some very interesting points.
I'm the
you got
only one
Billy's
that was like,
advice.
yo, dude, you're in a welding class, and this woman who likes to work with her hands and do welding might not be interested in you.
We don't know. That's why we tell him to ask.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good point, though, Billy. All right. Well, thank you for listening to Macrodosing. We love the new studio. Thank you to Donnie and Rico for joining us. Big guests, and we will have the Ben Mentz episode coming soon.
Let's go.
Where we will do a deep dive into It's going to be Act 2 manifestation, but we're also going to get into Act 1 because I feel like Act 1, that's when things got wild. So it was wild down in NOLA, for sure.
Shit, I'm gonna make that motherfucker so uncomfortable.
Oh, buddy. Wow.
Oh.
There were wild times in NOLA.
It's gonna be fun.
I don't think
The
you
first of
can,
the
dude.
month, Arian.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun.
All right. We will see you guys next week on Nanodosing. Love you guys.